Okay, hello and welcome back to the cronecast at the Rising Moon. I am waiting to see if my Zoom meeting is going to launch correctly. It didn't when I first tried it, so we're trying to make sure that it's about to go live on YouTube. Okay, hello and welcome back. There we go. All right, we've shut me up. That's always a good sign too. Hello and welcome back to the cronecast at the Rising Moon. This is the Spirit Guide Monthly for the month of November 2022. Early draws suggested. I'm going to turn off the light there so you can take a moment to focus on the cards. I'll turn it back on for the broadcast. It's just a little bit easier. There's also a thumbnail that you can take a look at and concentrate on. Select your pile and we're getting ready to go. All right, here we go. I hope everyone's doing well. If you're having a little bit of sound quality issues right now, I changed microphones. And so as I move around, I might have like a drifting sound, but it will be fine during the broadcast. I hope everybody had an interesting October. God knows I did. It was a challenging month in which it feels like as we heal, our guides in the universe, just it's like final exam time. And that's kind of how I would describe the last few months is welcome to final exams. I hope everybody is passing. All right. Finally got a Yeti microphone, which helps with my sound quality in, oh, wow, that's way off whack. Hold on just a second. Here we go. Finally got a Yeti microphone, which will help with sound quality. Let's make sure, what's going on here? Why isn't this moving? Oh, hold on just a second, guys. I'm very sorry. There's always a little bit of a lag, and I just can't see all that well until it's moved. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. I'm going to adjust it ever so slightly down, and that's going to be it. And hopefully I'm not getting great footage of my hallway. That looks so crooked to me, and I just don't understand why. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Something has gone a little bit awry with my camera, and adjusting it without being able to see it in real time is really very difficult. So here's hoping I didn't just make it much, much worse. If I did, this is going to be the part of what a professional operation here. There we go. I think I got it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope that you had a wonderful October, the Day of the Dead, Samhain, Halloween, All Souls Day. Is the 31st and the 1st. I did actually, part of my practice was published in a Yahoo Lifestyle article. I went ahead and posted the link to that in my community section. But it is, if you're interested in following along with celestial and angelic magic, I put up what the practice would be, how to thank your ancestors. And please be aware for everybody in my collective, oh my goodness, have I done so much work on trying to release our generational curses. Like all month long, it has been just, you know what's to the wall for me, trying to make sure that I have released as many of the generational curses that are, and they're found in powerful families. And it is not something that you did. It's that you can meditate and ask to be released from burdens that are not yours. Pardon me. I have a cold this time versus it's not Oscar and being allergic to him. This time I'm just genuinely, I'm a little under the weather. But let's get going here. And we're going to talk about what is coming up in November of 2022, which all year long, we've been seeing evidence of some civil unrest. It's all across the world. I mean, if you even glance at an international news site, there is so much civil unrest in the world. I do think everything turns out well. Hang on for November. It might be a little bit interesting here in the United States. Okay. All right. So we're starting out with your oracle cards. Group number one. The Tarot of Dragons is bringing you a predictive spread, but we're going to start out with your oracle cards. And as per usual, I then pull a whole bunch of others. I hope you're able to see your tabletop. We have infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. Early messages also indicated that. My hair is going to be even more of a strange mess. I went and washed the dogs before this broadcast, and I'm covered in dog bath water. I'm on top of everything else. So boy, I'm a sexy beast right now. What can I say? Your Soul Explorer's Oracle is tear down the walls around your heart, give and receive security and warmth. A stage in trauma healing and codependency healing is that extreme independence stage that we kind of go through in which we kind of adjust to like doing things by ourselves and having confidence and self-worth, which is really what helps heal codependency. Codependency is when we don't have enough faith in ourselves, and it's not our own fault. It's almost always a formative issue. And as you heal it, you can start to only have faith in yourself, and those walls can kind of go up around you. And you have to like make the effort to allow people in to have hope for increase in personal relationships and personal circumstances. It's not the same thing as being like, I just want a relationship. I just want my person. Where's my person? But rather, I am open to what will bring me the biggest experience in this world. And if that includes more relationships, then my heart is open. I have love for all. We are all one. And that's the work that that particular card asks you to do. Early draws did indicate a 2 of Cups. I had an 8 of Wands, and I had a 9 of Cups in the Spooky Junior draw, which is how I determined those titles. And so there's plenty happening in personal relationships is what it looks like early on. I have time to go. Time to go. That is moving on sometimes from the past, sometimes to new endeavors, sometimes to new places. I know I'm taking a trip up into Northern California this month because it is where I'm considering relocating to, including taking my business up there with the tribe. Time to go in the tribe. Remember, you do have a soul collective. You do have a tribe. It is not just your family. It is not just your ancestors. It is the people you have an energetic resonance with, which would be people in this collective. Everybody who's been here with me for the last couple of years, it's about 500 or 600 people. You are likely affiliated with celestial and angelic magic in your ancestral pool. And so you will always be like you're drawn. If you don't think you have a family, you do. You always have the tribe. You always have your energetic family of people who have lived very similar experiences to you. Please know that you are never truly alone. And it can feel ridiculous to hear that when it's like, I feel very much alone, but you're not. You're not. If you tap in and meditate, particularly always getting to trees, I've been getting that, connect with nature card over and over and over again. I have see the truth as well. Good intuition, less frustrating of a month. I think a lot of people had a very frustrating October. Like I said, it was like final exam time again. As we, what I'm most telling people on a spiritual evolution is think of it as a great big staircase, and there are landings every few steps, or every like 8, 9, 10, 12 steps. There's a landing. And throughout it, we take a bunch of tests and we get to a landing, and then we have to climb another. And then we get to a landing, we take a bunch of tests and we go up, and it keeps going and it keeps going. And how long does it keep going? As long as it needs to, as long as it needs to. Midas and Miser is what the archetype card is, which tells us about the shadow work that we need to do. When you understand your shadow side, you become fully integrated, and your divine self is more easily accessible to you. Your guide team is as well. The light attribute is entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold. Yay. And then a delight in sharing life's riches. And then the shadow attribute is, of course, hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. I know that because I suffered extreme deprivation, because I'm always talking about what a delightful childhood I had. I'm fine now, but I had an almost cartoonishly bad childhood, including like not having a refrigerator for a year, not having a water heater for 2 years, like deprivation was like the theme song of my childhood. And I can be a little bit money focused because it makes me feel safe, but not in a hoarding way or taking advantage of people way. Just that if I like look at a healthy bank balance, I feel good. And I have to be aware of that, is that that's not actually what keeps me safe. I am what keeps me safe. And as needs arise, they will be provided for. All right, then I have Don Juan. Ooh. Light attribute is spotlight your positive, seductive qualities. Like I said, I had 2 of Cups in our early draw, which suggests that things might be happening, particularly if you have been healing from codependency and feeling like the universe has been doing nothing but testing you. Remember, it's not just so that they can constantly like tell you you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, but rather they're trying to make sure that you're ready for a relationship that will have true resonance for you, that won't be complicated by the emotional work and the shadow work that we have to do. Like they say, if you don't resolve your childhood issues, your adult relationships will. And so doing the work beforehand means that you're not carrying that forward into your next relationship. The Don Juan suggests that maybe something's coming. Shadow attribute is using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. And whenever I'm talking to people about dating apps in particular, there are always people on there that treat it like a game. How many people can they get? How many lies can they get away with telling? And you'll always meet people where like, oh, we deleted our dating apps together. And it almost always turns out that somebody doesn't, not almost always. But if they come to me, it's because something's going a little bit wrong sometimes, not always. Sometimes they're checking on, this feels great. Is it great? And the cards are like, yes, it's great. Go forth, be happy. Other times it's kind of like, there's still people in the background there. Remember, if you do not possess dark motives, it's very difficult to perceive them. It's not moving forward in a cynical energy. Being self-protective is not cynical. Give people the benefit of the doubt, but also make them earn your trust. Okay. With that energy, it's like, remember, if you're still in a testing phase, you may have somebody cross your path who is still an echo of the past. We have, let's not read don't forget, angel answers and cookie card. Premise behind this is if you have a question throughout the course of this reading that I did not answer, the angel answers and will help you with that, hopefully. And then the cookie card is just something I do for fun. It's a fortune cookie card. Set your intentions. Again, please refer to that article about how to release the burdens of the past, to release the work that you've done, because the thing for people who are magic practitioners, for psychics, for people who work in esoteric arts, is that Halloween or Samhain or Dias de los Muertos is kind of a New Year's type of energy. As we go into a season of not growing, as we go into a restive, recuperating energy, we can release all of the burdens of the work that we've been doing during these active growing seasons. And new seeds are planted, by the way. Set your intentions. New moon was just the other day. It was the new moon in Scorpio. Very good for endings. That will extend since the veil is continuing to thin. Please do not forget to make ancestor offerings. I'll put up pictures later, but like I've shared before, I have a weird relationship to food where I frequently don't want to eat. And all week long, I've been doing these ancestral offerings because, again, I'm trying to release ancestral curses for my collective. And that has you treat this like you're inviting a guest into your home. So they've been these very fancy plates of food that it's been amusing to me because I would never take the time to do that for myself, and like brewing cups of tea and all kinds of things. Put a little effort in and ask your ancestors, your guides, your guardians, and your angels to help you release the burdens of this last year, to release the lessons, to allow you to move forward in a new and more successful energy. And they will bring out there. It's also a good opportunity to get guide messages. I have High Priestess of Earth. Ooh, I love the Earth energy because it's about physical security, financial security. It's my little Taurus heart sings with joy whenever Earth is on the scene, because I am basically a great big house cat. I like to be comfortable. That is what the High Priestess of Air is about: practical matters, 3D matters. Set your intentions there as well. If you've been trying to manifest abundance for a really long time, I've got the Abundance is Coming energy from the first draw as well, which is the Soul's Traveler, Sacred Traveler Oracle. And then Angels of the 7th chakra is power, truth, and connection. So we start off the month with the days when the veil is thinnest and you have the best access to your guide team. They will hopefully, if you have completed the tasks, and then remember, this is a great big university, so it's not like you can fail. It's not like you can fail, but you may need more work to do to protect you. Remember, it's not about judging you. It's about helping you be the best and happiest and healthiest version of you. So even though it can kind of, and somebody made a comment in my comment section about how they get tired of the feeling of like they use the carrot that they're dangling. Come and get this, come and get this, come and get this. And I get that, but please remember, our guides are trying to help us, and we want things to be immediate, partially because frequently we lack faith in ourselves. Sometimes things take more time because we're not quite ready. Like the business success that I've been pursuing for a while, I was really not okay following a very traumatic marriage and then a very, very traumatic divorce. And I had to recover for a while. And I feel like a completely different person these days in a really, really good way. But at the time that I started, started doing prosperity magic to try and make everything work out, if success had come to me, it would have been something more likely to break me than to make me. Things come to us in the time that they're meant to. They come to us in the time they're meant to. Oh, hey, channel announcement, dailies, 5 days a week will be beginning. They're only 5 and 6 minute recordings. I'm not gonna be like this. We'll be launching beginning November 1st. I am out of town next week, and so I don't know if a pick a card will go up. If I'm back in time, I will get one up, and if I'm not, I won't. But there will be daily tarot for the month of November. We're gonna see how that goes, and if people like it, I'll continue it. Here we go. Let's get going with the Tarot of the Dragons. What's coming up for group number 1 in November 2022? I can tell you right now, what's going to be coming up is a lot of me wiping my nose because I have a cold. Here we go. All right. I have the, whoa, Ten of Swords in reverse as the current card. What is that about? Sometimes it's about emotional processing. It's a trauma marker for my fellow readers. Remember, this can be about past life and this life trauma. It can be a stab in the back energy, but it's also quite simply releasing trauma as well. Cards are always influenced by the cards around them. There is no solid cemented meaning to a card. It will be influenced by its position in a spread and by what accompanies it. In this particular instance, I think you're releasing things because that is very much the energy of the beginning of November. It comes out with the Death card in the upright, which is a Scorpio card. That is the card of new beginnings. It is also the card of closure, of allowing new stages of life to come to be. I actually really genuinely like this particular depiction as well. It's got a very creepy dragon on it, but I super dig it. And remember, it's a Scorpio card. New beginnings are also hinted at by death. Ten of Swords in reverse with the Death card. You've been through it. Everybody in my collective has been through it. Queen of Wands in reverse is a frustrated energy. That's where you stand today. Probably a little sick of the, does this hurt? Does this hurt? Oh my gosh, you still scream when I do that, which is what healing feels like sometimes. I really genuinely wish the healing community would talk about healing sounds pleasant. Healing is challenging. Healing is difficult. Healing is work. Now, does it make you feel great in the long run? Yes, it does. But in the short term, oh my goodness, just as hard as it can be. Page of Pentacles in the upright is lessons learned. Remember, the pages are students of life, and they carry forward things to the knights who carry them forward for progress. The queens gestate an idea. The kings are about fulfillment, manifestation. You've been learning a lot of lessons around your personal power. Five of Swords in the upright. Yes, it's a conflict card. Now, it can be forming for defeat, but there is, particularly in the US, there is likely going to be some pushback around the November elections. Everything turns out fine. It barely touches California, which I'm pleased about. But there will be at the beginning of the month and carrying through, I think, part of the month. I keep calling them skirmishes, and I've been seeing them since like last March. And I've been seeing them all over the world, but I have a feeling they're coming to like what is my domestic soil soon. Ace of Pentacles in reverse in the short term. That can be a failure energy, but it can also be a remember, when we talk about work and we talk about healing, we talk about all the lessons we're meant to learn. It may not involve making money. Sometimes my business will go into a lull, particularly when I'm doing a bunch of this emotional processing work. And it's because I require the energy to finish healing up, my lifetime's worth of trauma. And I have that in common with so many people. Ace of Swords in reverse. Interesting to me that we've got 2 aces in reverse. Reversals are not bad. Remember, every reader will have a different relationship to their cards, and this could be something that has not started yet or is about to start. It's a cutting of ties with the past as well. It does look as if you're launching into an energy in which you understand yourself a great deal better than you used to, which that is one of the things that makes things turn out well. 2 of Pentacles in reverse can be a drop ball, it can be a missing piece, can be things being out of balance that is in the external position. Things missing is what it can be. Particularly in the US, guys, seriously, just take very good care of yourself. I'm not anticipating anything bad. It's just disruptive versus disastrous. Remember that part. It comes out with the 8 of Swords in the upright. Is that right? 8 of Swords in the upright and the hopes and fears, which is a no path forward, a little bit trapped, feeling some doubt as well. But remember, the path is actually there. The person just doesn't see it. Sometimes our anxiety and our stress and like a feeling of panic around a particular situation can block out our intuition, our ability to discern, our internal guidance. Whenever you get into this panic state, make sure you hit the trees, seriously. And I don't mean go out and punch trees. I mean, go out and walk around in a park. Being around trees is incredibly important to everybody in my collective. You're connected to elementals. Celestial and angelic magic works with the elements that hold this reality together. One of the things that will always help you with healing is anything growing. So it can be farmlands, it can be forests, it can be, it can be houseplants, it can be watching things on YouTube that contain natural beauty, because we're headed into a time of year in other areas where it's like everything is a little bit dark and cold. Remember, you can sit and, like, one of the things I do is watch these train trips on YouTube. Switzerland, by the way, oh my goodness, so very beautiful. Been through it on a train on YouTube multiple times. 10 of Cups in reverse, a difficult family situation or a lack of fulfillment. Something's going on where you're releasing a relationship from the past. That comes out with the 9 of Cups in reverse. I almost feel like I picked up this deck the wrong way. And then that comes out with the World in reverse as well. 9 of Cups is not necessarily disappointment. It can be a delayed wish being fulfilled. And in fact, you had the 9 of Cups in the upright in my initial draw. What I think is happening here is that throughout the month, you, like, all of the work that you've been doing, you feel the resonance of it, the roots of it, the difference that it has made in the way you react to an external situation. For people asking about work, it's a strange month with a fits and starts energy. I have this kind of everything coming out in balance energy. Not a great month to be finding a job, because there does appear to be some civil unrest, and it probably slows things down. Okay. I have that with the Page of Swords in reverse, research energy, looking deeply into something, trying to face a difficult truth. Coming out with the 4 swords in the upright. In your downtime, there will be plenty. Oh, good. Page of Cups in the upright, which is start something new and pleasing. It can be a romantic offer coming towards you as well. I want to get these cards down and then take a really good look at them, because they're a little bit all over the map. 2 of Wands in reverse. Remember, this is the Earth group. That does not mean it's for Earth signs. It means you'll be called to different piles at different times, depending on which element is really ruling your personal energies that month. This has a tendency to be the very practical stuff. 2 of Wands in reverse is making a plan and committing to it. 8 of Wands in the upright is can be swiftness, progress, falling in love. It's messages being exchanged, and it can be air travel as well. Coming up with the 8 of Cups in the upright, traveling. Interesting month, interesting energy that has a strange speed up, stop, speed up, stop, speed up, stop energy with it over and over again. Expect that. Expect it to come in spurts throughout the month of November. 4 of Pentacles in the upright, but you've got things like coming online, like things that you have been missing are coming back to you. But it is not a month where it's very career focused. It's more wellness focused, more happiness focused, more what do you really want from life focused. Because our world, our 3D worlds, kind of defines success by bank balance almost exclusively. And some of the richest people I know are the unhappiest people. It does not bring you happiness. Money's great. Don't get me wrong. I've had it. I've not had it. I'd like to have it again. Maybe I will, probably will. That's the way it tends to work for me. But it does not in and of itself create happiness. It creates a space to no longer be stressed about taking care of oneself. It's a very slightly different thing. So remember, if you are having a lull in making things happen, it is a really good opportunity to say, well, why is that? Because everything that is brought to us is purposeful. With the Knight of Cups in the upright, that's a romantic energy, with the 3 of Swords in the upright as well. Who's that around? 8 of Swords in the upright. Past pain appears to be holding people back in their romantic lives. Guys, I'm going to stand up for a moment, go over there and open up the window, because energy goes through me like crazy when I do these. I have to eat so much around any kind of reading for groups. And unfortunately, it causes me to become very, very warm indeed. So even though it's like 70 degrees in here, I have to go open the window so I don't burst into flame. One moment. There we go. Oh, immediately better, immediately better. I want to take a look at these 2 aces in reverse. since this is the practical world energy, it's most likely to involve 3D. I don't think there's any type of calamity. I just really, really don't. There are people not taking things well, but I have no extra concerns here. I just have no extra concerns. Let's get some weird month in terms of you're going to be challenged around accepting new people into your life, guys. Multiple new figures here, and you're having a hard time making space. That's the only thing to be aware of. There is a difficult situation with a family member that is coming to kind of a definitive end. If you have been trying to recover from a long-term relationship breakup, know that there is this kind of window of opportunity for a nail in the coffin, or for another door to open. And that doesn't mean, can it mean reconciliation? I don't believe so, but that's going to be very individual. It's just that like there's a final word on something and you're the person who gets to say it. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. What do we got from happiness? Woo, that's what we want to see. This is a strange looking month in cards so far. In terms of the exterior world, it's kind of like, oh, wow, that could be colorful. But in terms of the interior world, like you feel the difference, you feel the resonance of the work that you've done. Do a lot with alignment. I'm always telling people, please align. There are free videos all over YouTube. There's like, sincerely, there are Reiki masters absolutely worth the money. I'm never denigrating somebody else's skill, but people have financial constraints. And when they do, remember, there is a wealth of free information and free healing work that is available via YouTube. Inner Lotus Healing Music, Inner Lotus Music, Jason Stevenson, Meditative Mind, 3 of my favorites. All of those are very good sources. Chakra alignments, like 30 minutes. If you don't like to sit and meditate, people with very active minds rarely do. That's okay. Go ahead and let it play in the background or go to sleep to it. Or do the training wheel meditation where you count your breaths in as one, out as one. So it's in through the nose, one, out through the nose, one. And you go up to 10 over and over again. And why? It gives you something to focus on that does not take up too much mental energy, and it puts you into a state of receptivity. And after you do that for a while, you just get very conscious of what your breath is doing. You feel what it feels like going in through your nostrils as it goes down. Everything, you're trying to track your breath through your body. But until such time as you can do that, you can count, and again, up to 10 over and over again. Happiness, balance, and then abundance. So weird cards around like fateful occurrences in the greater world, but your cards just could not look better in terms of this is some pretty stuff. Happiness, balance, and abundance. If you have lost a great deal and got heartily sick of the idea that everything you lost will be returned to you, it's like, well, is there a time frame on that? Because I lost that stuff a while ago. And there's kind of a gaping chasm where it used to be. Things come to us when we are ready for them, not when we're demanding them, but when we're ready for them. And do I ever know that as like, you know, from my own personal experience? Yeah. Because I have an iron will and I can like muscle almost anything into reality. And sometimes I cannot get something to budge. And it's always because I want something that's not good for me. I'm that person. Sometimes I'm like, no, I know better. My spirit guides are like, she's like a terrier. Here we go. All right, 1 and 2 and 3. YouTube changed its format a little bit, so I just don't even see the freaking chat stream anymore. Is there anybody in it? No, I didn't think so, which is fine. All right. There we go. Thorns. Weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. I do not have any reason to believe that's personal energy. Your personal energy is beautiful. Sun. Open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. The Sun in the tarot is the positive vibes card. It is the new beginnings card. If 2022, which has felt like a burden for so many people, like nothing ever worked out the way it was supposed to. It was just test after test after test, to the point where we're like, what is the worth of the spiritual journey? The spiritual journey that you're taking is not about getting what you want, but being everything you can be. And it's a slightly different goal. Please remember that if you've undertaken a spiritual journey to get what you want, you're missing the point of a spiritual journey. And I speak to myself when I say that as often as anything, but try to reframe things if you're very frustrated. I've got a very frustrated energy that you're standing on right now. It is so that you can have a greater connection to your divine self and to feel the magic resonance of being alive rather than desperately trying to make enough to like meet all bills. Like that part gets taken care of. You have a really hard time trusting that though. Unity, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. Group number one, kind of what looks like is on the table for you is a little bit of like a challenge around keep it like you're going to keep your cool in a way that you haven't before. Like as the world churns and burns, and not quite really, as the world churns and burns, you're just going to kind of be like, I feel good. I feel like I can handle whatever comes along. I'm not sweating this part. I feel connected. Whenever you do, because you are sponges, by the way, you transmute energy. So when you're around other people, you have a tendency to suck it up like a sponge. That is what the worth of trees is. It takes our dark energy and grounds it in the element of earth. The Archangel Michael in my belief system is the guardian of the element of earth. Michael, of course, has the flaming sword, but he actually was supposed to, and it's not really gendered. The archangels aren't gendered. It's strange. Although I relate to Michael and Gabriel as being very masculine energies, and Uriel and Raphael as being very feminine energies, which is pretty much accurate. What I was saying is that the Archangel Michael fought the devil and won, defeats all evil. And please, is there real evil in this world? Yes. I am not somebody who thinks that it's just love and not love. It's like, no, there's right and wrong, there's good and there's evil. And we're very much involved in a little bit of an energetic war around light and dark, or good and evil. If you're in my collective, you're good. Like you believe in kindness and helping one another and compassion and the worth of being the best version of yourself that you can be. Now, by the way, if you're listening to that and you're like, that's not what I believe, another reader is likely for you, but that is very much my mission statement. And that's the messages. I receive messages from people who that is the path that they're following as well. Evolving. I started all of this out with a great big thing about evolution. Every day, my body and mind evolve. My mind becomes wise. My body becomes seasoned. Each day that I heal and change, the more sure of myself I become. I rise tall like mountains, touch clouds, and never to be trampled. Hey, please remember that I said as the world does wicked, weird things, and really wicked, no, just strange. Please take note of how much progress you've made, because when we're in the middle of a journey, it's like, seeing pictures of yourself 10 years ago and being like, I looked great, and I never thought that at the time, but wow, look how young I looked. There is a difference that accumulates over time that we do not see day to day. And kind of remember the last time something super stressful happened and the way that you reacted, and note the difference. That essentially leapt. Air, seek a union of mind and spirit. The mystic circles, your abilities will be enhanced. That's the point of the carrot, chasing the carrot. Every time that you invest in the idea of making more and more progress with your spiritual journey, your emotional journey, the natural esoteric gifts that you have are enhanced, whether it's manifestation, whether it's the ability to transmute energy, whether it's the ability to manifest, whether it's psychic abilities, whether you have all of them, because some of us have all of them. They become enhanced the more that you invest in the worth of a journey, not a destination. And that's what it is. Remember, you're on a journey. You're not trying to reach a destination and stop. You're trying to continue on a progress-filled path throughout the course of your life. We're going to switch over to, wait, no, we're not. I'm going to get your enchanted maps. Meet my new tiny enchanted map. I have another enchanted map at my office. The cardstock is terrible. And so it would die here within like 3 days. I'm very rarely at my office these days. I had a great enchanted map that 2 cards went missing from. I still don't understand how. So I ordered this guy. It took 6 weeks to come. Got great cardstock, but he's wee. It's a little deck, so it's funny to be using. But I love this deck. I love all of Colette Baron Reed's decks. For all my fellow readers, please remember to look into the artwork, because her artwork is so rich. It tells its own story. Peaks of joy with happiness. Happy time, ride the wave. I'm telling you, the world's not doing so well, but you're doing awesome. With spirit of place, And then Golden Palace, which is that's one of the cards that went missing, by the way. Golden Palace, which is all about having enough, having security, receiving more and more. It is almost as if fears around that are evaporating. Trauma survivors, because that's what that Ten of Swords in reverse, have an interesting relationship to things going wrong, because they're always like fearing the worst happening, because the worst has happened before, and they're afraid of it returning. As things go a little bit pear-shaped, they're like, yeah, no, this is my jam. I function really well in emergencies. And it's almost like you get to like do your progress review in a month that's challenging only in an exterior to you fashion, but you have good communication, you have good times. It's a little bit solitary from time to time. Like there's a fits and starts energy around that, where like sometimes you can't get away from other human beings, and sometimes it's like yourself and you. There we go. Let's get going with some energy cards. What have I got for group number one? We're going to move over to the Infinity Oracle deck, and then I'm going to go for all the love cards, and that'll be it for pile number one. If you're wondering about very practical concerns, like, is this the month that I find a job? Not necessarily, not necessarily. But it's the month where research will pay off on that. So you will find an opportunity that begins to intrigue you. It's not a great month to make big life changes, but it's a great month to pursue your idea of expansion. Like the whole idea of a 5-year plan, things never turn out exactly as we wish they would, but deciding where you want to go next in your journey. And again, if it's all about like manifesting money, as a form of abundance, remember the universe will hold back something until you see a fuller picture, because abundance is joy and resonance in life. It is not just a bank balance. And the reason that they do that is what happens to people when they get like this influx of cash is they feel good as they get everything paid off, and they finally breathe deeply, and they're finally a little bit relaxed around that. And then they realize, I'm still not particularly happy. Why is that? Because abundance is about loving being alive. Life as a bounty, as an experience, as an adventure, as a what will happen to me today, who will I see, what will they tell me, who will I encounter, and what will it teach me? That's an abundant energy. We need money in this world to survive. We do. We have cornucopia, indecision, that's a crossroads energy, strategy, victory. Beautiful energy. Victory is all about success. It's a beautiful, successful month on multiple fronts. Money-wise, listen, strange energy around that, but good energy. It really is like vistas open and like a ray of light shines down, and it's a little bit less your focus, just a little bit less your focus. Let's move on to, and why is it less your focus? We have people entering your life, we have opportunities entering your life, and we have some form of recognition as well as closing a chapter on a difficult period of your life. Definitively, like I said, it's either a breakup energy or a divorce energy, and you're finally free. Like that person's energy is no longer part of you. And you're finding out who you are in the aftermath of letting that person go. And it does not need to be a romantic relationship. It could have been the shadow work that you have completed. It could have been the trauma that you sustained in childhood, that you now understand how it influences the choices that you made. One of the things about an ego death is not thinking that you don't matter. It is seeing you for who you really are, including your shadow attributes. That's the part of your personality that was formed in trauma. And when you start to see it that way, you can look back at the choices you made that maybe you're not like, oh, it was my best choice. Like I said, my 20s, it's like I was feral. Like nobody bothered to raise me, and you could sort of tell. And did I make getting better like my, reason for going forward? Yes, for the most part, I really did. And that's why things turned out okay. But those are choices that for a very long time, I kind of I really held myself on the hook for like, why did I know better than that? Why did I know better than that? And it's like, how would I have? I literally had no healthy relationships around me, like not even one. We have cool, calm, and collected. You are. The energy surrounding group number one is lost love. I think I just said that. Intellectual matters, balanced partnership. Cool, calm, and collected, intellectual matters and balanced partnership. I have this weird energy of somebody bringing an offer towards you. That there's somebody from your past, but there's no peril there. There's just no peril there. Do what you think is right. There's no right. Sometimes there's no right or wrong decision. Remember, we think of a journey as a straight line. How do we get to the next destination most quickly? That is not what a life's journey is. We can take all kinds of tangents and detours and alternate routes and get back to our fateful occurrences. Our fateful occurrences are like dots connecting us on a map, but the choices that we make, because our life is made of our choices, you will get guided back to the things that are truly important for your soul to face. And then moving on and escape. I'm telling you, you've left behind a toxic situation. And it can be different for absolutely everybody. But it puts you into the I am fresh, I am new, what will I do now energy. You've got one warning over there about with the Don Juan energy and the tear down the walls around your heart. I have a cold. Tear down the walls around your heart. I think there is a real possibility of somebody who just has this like really, they want to pursue you, they want to woo you type of energy with that Don Juan. And they slam into something interesting, which is what happens for people who are codependent and then recover is that they kind of don't, it's like, well, where does a relationship belong in my life? I haven't had the best one, so maybe nowhere. And remember, you haven't had a healthy relationship yet. If you've just recovered from codependency, then you I decided to stay single until I was completely well. That was like, this is a little bit of a long story. I kept having men approach me and I wanted to heal instead. And by the time I was really, really healed, I was like, you know what, I'm pretty happy. So I'm really, really not sure where that stands in my life. I don't the next guy who approaches me, I have no idea what, I'll be like, oh, what are you for? I don't know. I don't know where I stand with that. And that's very, very, very normal. That's a very healthy energy. It's not got too much focus, but you don't have an aversion to it. The extreme independence phase in healing is when you're like, I won't accept anything from anybody. I can do it all myself. Which we need to strike that balance. Balance. Secret admirer. Telling ya. Hidden emotions. Life-changing decision. Number one, you got it going on, my friend. Big success. Divine feminine. Even though I do not see money pouring down upon you as if somebody has turned on a tap, there is such a beautiful, successful, happy, joyful, I'm celebrating and making plans energy around this. A lot of planning here. Planning and commitments and communication and like a journey continues towards more and more. While the end of a journey is very definitive and it will simply be kind of, it's interesting as we grow and heal, we change. And it's not that we're judging the former version of ourselves, but you really can tell when it's like, I would make completely different decisions in the here and the now than I did then. And it is because you have gone into a new stage of your life. And that former version of yourself is not gone. That former version of yourself got you to where you are. It helped with this journey. Never, ever be ashamed of or disdainful towards a former version of yourself. That is a version of you that did really, really hard work to make everything better. Love the hell out of that person. They are your best ally. Let's go here. 1 and 2 and 3. We're getting some wellness cards. We'll get engagement ring, engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. That 2 of Cups really caught my eye in the early draw for the title. I kind of knew this was coming up. Good for you, pile number 1. Go forth, be happy, be healthy too. Remember, if you're just embarking on relationships after a period of taking the time to heal, keep a little bit of a checklist. If you feel that like obsessive, I have to know everything, what's going to happen, tell me all the answers now. That's a codependent energy. And you just have to distract yourself and follow along, basically a wellness guide. And it becomes second nature after a while. You don't have to do it forever. Coffee cup, meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted in friendship. And then I have paradise. Good for you. Happiness. We've got happiness over there too. Expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. No idea why my hand was shaking when it was like against the, I was bracing my hand against the desk and just noticed the cards like waving at you. Here we go. Let's get going for your romance angel. That looks awesome. I want to get infinity. No, I already did infinity cards. I'm going to get some messages of love after this, and then we're going to call it a day and go on to the next pile after we get your angel answer and your cookie card. I'm surrounded by dogs that smell good, which is delightful. They're wonderful and delightful to cuddle after they've had their bath day. There we go. And they both get in the same tub, which like people just like, they get a lot of attention for how goofy they look side by side, because Puddles is a third the size of Oscar. Healing family issues. And then I want one more. It is safe for you to love. Healing family issues. I don't like the wording on this because it's not about forgiving your parents. It doesn't have to do with your parents. It has to do with you and your relationship to love and understanding what went into how you approach and develop relationships. And forgiving your parents is about recognizing even the people who injured us are just like, they were injured in their own right. Sometimes it's malicious. Sometimes it's malicious. And are you meant to forgive that too? Remember, it is the divine's job to forgive. It is your job to heal. And when you're healed, you let it go because it doesn't matter any longer. It's like, do you forgive it? Yeah, it's off my books. But it says your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, as you are healed, as you resolve that shadow work, that trauma, as you understood everything that it did to you and the decisions it helped you make, because it did influence it. All the relationships that you've had or haven't had that might have worked out or not worked out in interesting ways, remember that was part of a journey to resolve the issues from the past, and is safe for you to love, open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Let's get these guys on this. I have a meeting later with my friend Devin. Devin is the person that I've known her for a very long time. We're starting a podcast, and I will have more information for that. Look for that at the very end of the year. And I'm very excited about it. She's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun. Everybody thought we were sisters back in the day because we kind of look alike, we talk alike. We have a lot of fun together. There we go. 1 and 2 and 3, but she's a little bit of a non-believer, and I've been turning her into a believer this whole time. There we go. I'll make you a believer. Leap of faith, vulnerability, abundance. Abundance is all over you, group 1. Awakening and self-care. As something new begins, you will have to adhere almost to a self-care checklist. I only spend 2 nights a week talking to this person. We only go out 2 nights a week. Tiptoe in, go slowly. If you've been recovering from codependency, if you're part of my collective that you're like, yeah, no, that actually wasn't a big part of me. I'm just gifted. I didn't have all that trauma. Awesome. But if you have been recovering from codependency, know that your first foray will scare you a little bit. It will be normal. Like, that's actually how I knew I was healed, was like guys were like approaching me, and like one, I literally ran. I mean, literal booked, beat feet, because I was like, oh God, he's trying to flirt with me. I must go. Bing. All right. Sunshine, joy, growth, and happiness, and positivity, and everything good, group number 1. And then there's something better. If you think that you lost everything that mattered, it was because there's something better for you. All right, group number 1, that was your reading for November. Look for a month with so much abundance, so much positivity, so much evidence of how much you have healed and how different you feel. But it is a strange exterior world energy. And believe it or not, that is part of what will make you understand how much you really have progressed, how much progress you've made, how different you are. We're moving on. Timestamps that it in after the broadcast. I say that over and over again every month. I'm going to take a sip of water because I'm on cold medicine, so I have a dry mouth. Isn't that delightful? You can't catch my germs. Here we go. All right. Group number 2. Let's go. E. We have, who's giving you your, this is the Gilded Tarot, bringing you your predictive spread. We have the pre-selected oracle cards that I shuffle for first thing in the morning. Remember, there is a thumbnail marking this video. If you can't get an easy close-up, you can go back, look at that, concentrate, and see which one really calls out to you. Let's get going here. Get rid of the angel answer and the cookie card so that I don't accidentally announce it. Where's your cookie card? There's your cookie card. Hello? All right, well, I'll find it. All right, we have the Soul Explorer saying you are caught up in drama. Act to free yourself, change, and blossom again. There is a slightly dramatic energy in the greater world. I might need to shuffle for a cookie card for you because I don't apparently have. There it is. There we go. The greater world has some drama going on in it, and the drama is short-lived but pitched. And this is I'm based in the US. I'm based out of Southern California currently. It is a domestic situation currently globally. There's just so much going on. Tune out from that and tune in. Meaning, don't spend your time looking at it's like, oh my God, is that on fire? Instead, be like, okay, I know that that's out there. My answers will come from within. You are powerful for a reason. You have a gift for a reason. You feel your guides for a reason. They are your best bet when things get a little bit wackadoodle. Embrace spirit. That's what I just said. All right. And elementals, nature spirits, the four elements. I was talking to group number one about this. If you're in my collective, you're likely a natural, celestial, and angelic practitioner. Celestial and angelic magic essentially fades from this reality and comes back over and over again to bring everything back into balance. When there's too much dark energy, the celestial and angelic magic comes back in a very powerful form. It's always there, but it's at a low level, and it comes back at a very powerful level when things are really out of balance. So you have a lot of power right now. If particularly you don't have to be a practitioner to have access to that particular power. Remember, I actually do magic. A lot of people in my collective do magic, but even if you are not a practitioner, if you have magic in your soul, you make a difference and you essentially massage reality around you. Tap into your guides to find out what the way that you're meant to be doing that. Everyone has a purposeful path, particularly if you're here to try and shift that balance. It's a form of being a light warrior. Your archetype cards are Judge. Judge, light attributes, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Shadow attribute is only offering destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. Got a little bit of that crap going on in the greater world domestically in the US. We're going to have some people not behaving very properly around the election. We've seen that. We've known that was likely coming for a little bit. But there is a judgment energy overall. I keep getting the judgment card, which is the Archangel Gabriel's card. This is the Archangel Gabriel sigil, by the way. That's what I've been wearing with my moon recently. I don't like tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. I have nothing against them. It's just not something I've been called to. And I was kind of told, hey, start wearing your sigil. Why? Not sure why. But the Archangel Gabriel is the card that is judgment. And that is about judgment as to what is right and wrong. Remember, society's law is not necessarily the divine's law. And it can be, that's a really complicated subject. Maybe I'll do a video on it someday. The shadow attribute is, again, connect to your guides to feel grounded, to feel aligned, to feel safe during a time where, like, if you pay too much attention to the world that is not directly related to you, you might be distressed. So just be a little careful. It's not terrible. It's genuinely not terrible. Pioneer, light attribute, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. The shadow attribute is compulsive need to keep moving on. I have a little bit of that. I have a very nomadic spirit. I'm like taking a trip soon to see where I'm going to move next. Make each day count. Remember, we're always like, when will I get this relationship or this job or this achievement? Life is lived in the present. Even if you don't have what you want, find a way to like the life that you have and you'll just be happier. It is not about being scolded. You're not grateful enough. You have this, you have that. Think of the people who have nothing. It's really not about that. It is simply, you're told to live in the present and find that which you are grateful about or that you can celebrate as a blessing so that you can be happier, so that you can experience joy even when you don't have what it is you think you want. And like, that doesn't mean that you want things that are not right or like it wouldn't make you happy, just that we can be happy even when we are denied a great many things, if we look for the things in our life that would bring about joy. All right, make each day count. Let's live in the present. What's our hope? This is from the Wisdom of the House of the Night Oracle. Hope, positivity. I love this energy, but the caught up in drama is like, don't engage on those things. Don't engage on those things. I'm always saying this and I mean it. Politics is stupid. Now, does it have like an influence on our life? Yes. But people who seek power want power. And pursuit of power is an empty pursuit. Pursuit of love, pursuit of joy, pursuit of compassion, pursuit of everything that is light is a beautiful way to live life. Trying to have power over other people so that you can feel secure in this world is it's just, like I said, it misses so much of the point that I call it a little bit stupid. Now, clearly I have my big friend, the new Yeti microphone that I got so that our podcast, Devin and I's podcast, would sound good. And I hope that it's not super duper loud. I have not recorded one of these with this yet, and I'm very aware that it's right there. And I am normally trying to project to a microphone that's a little bit further away. So if I'm yelling in your ear, just turn me down. I'm sorry. We have overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. Our tests are about teaching us confidence in ourselves, not about driving us crazy. And it has been all of October, most of 2022 has been, I keep telling with my clients and my friends, it's like the theme of the entire world was persevere. Like, you're not sure why you're trying, but you're like, I'm still trying. Perseverance is just keep going. And why do we get that when our guides tell us everything is guaranteed, your success is guaranteed, everything beautiful is coming to you? Because it does take time to build the type of success that will stay with you, that has every element represented in it. It's secured with the earth. It is brought to you with the air. It is nurtured by the water. The fire makes it grow. It takes a while to do that. And people who were traumatized, particularly by abusive parental units or withholding parental units or hypercritical parental units or situations in their formative experience, they don't realize it, but their biggest stumbling block in life is that they give up on themselves because nobody imbued self-confidence and self-worth into them. And as adults, that becomes our job. And so sometimes things will take much longer than we want it to, because they're trying to teach us the ability to keep going because we have confidence in our own abilities. And it is not that if something doesn't magically appear, it is not that our guides don't love us. It is that they're like, you know how much better you're going to feel when this comes to you after you've worked hard for it. And it can take, it can take a little bit. It can take a little bit. You gain skill, you master things. Enjoy this period of building your aptitudes and recognize them. And if you're still trying, even though things have not been working out, be so proud of yourself because you didn't always, is what that particular energy says. Building blocks. I beg your pardon. I hope that is not coming out too badly. Zoom has a natural sound dampener in it. I have a cold and I keep apologizing for it. Why? Hey, listen, this is the biggest one that trauma survivors have to overcome. Why? Why didn't I get this? Why me? It is not, you're not uniquely afflicted. We did actually choose an existence, even like the catastrophically emotionally destructive childhood that I have. I used to laugh at the idea that I chose that. I was like, what, do I not like me? And no, it was so that I could learn things that I feel are very important to impart to others. It was because I needed to not feel a part of something so that I would be willing to stand apart from others. And that is what leaders always do. And am I a form of leader? I suppose so. I don't really like to be, but I am somebody who will speak and definitively, which is something that we're not encouraged to do. We're encouraged to follow rather than to stand out and to use our voice. And to be the most powerful version of yourself, you have to be willing to lead yourself and others. It doesn't mean that you end up in a leadership position. I don't think I ever will. I'm a recluse. But the why energy is, please don't ask why, because I guarantee you, the person that is in a war-torn land, who is in an occupied city with soldiers brutalizing everybody they know, is no less deserving of every good thing than you are. Why them? Because life is a struggle and it has challenges, and our connection to the divine and to our divine self and to our soul is the thing that will help us overcome. And when we're asking why, even when I look at my, I start laughing about it because it's like I was written by Dickens or something. When I ask that about myself, I have to remember I've met people who had hideous levels of abuse where they were like basically kept like animals. And it's like, why them? And that was better. That like my childhood was better than that. I have been as blessed as I have been burdened. And when I start asking myself why on things, I have to remember that there is a hidden blessing in absolutely every terrible thing we went through, because it teaches us something about our ability to overcome and to thrive anyway. And the amount of pride and love you will have for yourself when you still get to where you want to go and achieve the things you want to, even though you did not have the best starts or the best luck, is so, it's very easy to achieve when everything is handed to you. It just is. There is, in retrospect, not what's going on, please don't think I'm telling you, please be grateful for the terrible things that are happening to you. But rather, once you've gotten through them, once you're in a peaceful energy and it is no longer an active pain in your life, look for what it taught you about yourself. And there is an answer there. There is an answer there. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. Let's get going for pile number 2. All right. There we go. Okay, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, something like screeching halt. Works weird. Like first 2 weeks, crickets. Meaning that like people are focusing on something else. Okay, like there's a weird energy out there. 3 swords in the upright. Now that can be a COVID marker, so be a little bit careful with your health. It can also be a card of heartbreak. This particular 3 of swords is like, it's hard to describe, but it's almost as if it's a form of, I almost want to say a badge of honor energy, where like if you feel better, something has come to an end around heartbreak, and you finally get a view into the ways in which it transformed you in a positive way. It's almost impossible when your heart's deeply broken to be grateful for that. But in the aftermath, when it no longer hurts, you can look back and be like, but it did teach me this. It did give me a greater connection to spirit. It did help me open my psychic gifts. It did build confidence in me to walk this path alone if I need to, rather than walking it with the wrong person. Even the things that are difficult, even the things that challenge us, they have a bonus with them, and they don't hurt us to help us. It's just saying that when we are hurt, there is something in it that if we allow ourselves to embrace the idea that it helped me expand and heal. And if you're saying, no, it just hurt me, you're still got a little bit healing to do. But this particular pile, that's like the healing journey. You've reached a restored energy. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a very restored energy. Chariot in reverse, 2 things coming to a halt. 9 of Wands in reverse. I like that. That's a battle you do not have to engage in sometimes. Hanged Man in the upright, being in stasis. The Hanged Man takes a new perspective on things. You have that Y energy. You are going to have a little bit, it's a freaky energy in the exterior world, and freaky, what do I mean? Disrupted, not dangerous, disrupted energy in the exterior world in the US. There's this building blocks and Y. Even though it is difficult when you're going through the pain, after you get through it, you can recognize that had to happen for this next great stage of my journey. And we hate suffering. We hate suffering, but it does end. It does end if we allow ourselves to release it. And that is not to say you're responsible for your own pain. It's not. Just to, even as you're hurting, try to remind yourself, this is not always. Now is not always. I will get better. The light will dawn again. And I'm kind of like, I'm not even sure that you need to hear, if this is your pile, then basically you're like, is that the sun? Because the light is dawning. With the 9 of Cups in the upright, yahoo, that is the manifestation energy. That is the wish fulfillment energy. That is the bounty of life energy. I love the 9 of Cups. It says you will get what you have been wishing for. It is a manifestation energy. With the 6 of Wands in the upright, which is progress, success, triumph over adversity. It's the graduation card. It can be a traveler coming in. It can also be a new person coming towards you. Whoa, and you are responsible for my 2 of Cups. Group number 2, which is the passion group. It is the water group. No, I'm sorry, it's a fire group. I had a 2 of Cups in the early draw that helps me title these, which I use Spooky Junior, which is a Divine Message deck. I had a 2 of Cups in that and an 8 of Wands. 2 of Cups is a new connection, a close connection as well. 4 of Wands in reverse, you may have you may have had a karmic relationship that you have released. Like you've learned the lesson and you release them. Like you understand yourself better. Even like the terrible relationships we have, they can teach us things about how to have better relationships with ourselves and others. And every good relationship starts with good relationship self. Tower in reverse, starting all over again, ground zero energy. High Priestess in reverse, things becoming clear, a clear and open channel, very easy access to your intuition. Boy, your energy looks good. A lot of tough things have come to an end. And if you're like, no, they haven't, like, wait a little bit. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. 9 of Pentacles in reverse, ever so slightly frustrated energy on that one. I don't think it's you. I think it's someone exterior to you. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. No, I'm sorry, 4 of Pentacles in reverse, which is opening up your heart chakra, allowing love in. Knight of Wands in the upright. Group number 2, Wheel of Fortune in the upright. You have good money energy. You have good love energy. You have good friendship energy. First, I want to say 6 or 7 days, first week of November, might be almost like choosing to let things go. At the very top of this reading, remember, I'll edit in timestamps after the broadcast. I talked about Yahoo Lifestyle included my celestial and angelic practice for October 31st and for November 1st. If you want to read about that, that tells you what you can do to try and release some of the burdens that your ancestors have helped you overcome, the lessons you have helped you learn. It gives you a practice around that. Check it out. There is a link to that in my community section. Page of Swords in the upright. Oh, wow. Lots of good communications. So the 7 of Wands in reverse is like a no need to fight energy. With the Ace of Cups in the upright, you have the Ace of Cups, you have the 2 of Cups. Group number 2, your energy looks amazing. Now, will this definitely happen within November? Give it a little bit of time. Give it through the end of the year just in case, because the messages come through and then it's your reading. But it may not manifest solely within the month. It may be the things that's coming to you, and it is time for you to hear about that. But before the end of the year, the Strength card in the upright, which is the Leo card, another card for triumph over adversity, another card for victory, another card for courage, kind of being very admired as well. Judgment card in the upright, that's the Archangel Gabriel's card. It is the Karma card. It is truth being revealed. It is the light shining through into the darkness. It is life's purpose being revealed as well. With the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting to me. 8 of Pentacles in the upright, lots and lots of lessons learned, mastering multiple difficult situations at the beginning. Like you're just, it's almost like you're meeting yourself again for the first time. And I definitely have a romantic interest on this particular pile. So let's see if there's anything else I need to know. First week, weird. Like I like it, particularly if you're a sole proprietor, like be careful, particularly in the US, the United States has some things going on that like people are distracted. People are distracted. Use that time to do something else. And like if you want to meditate on abundance, you have that manifestation energy as well. We have hope. We have, oh, wow. These are good cards, my friends. The 4 elements and the nature spirits. Lots of people are getting to connect with nature energy again. Remember, if you are in my collective, you are tied to the elements very directly, and trees and growing things, and they can be recordings of them, are very, very important to helping you shed the energies that you absorb from others. Let's get a fortune card. What do we got? This is beautiful. Good money energy towards the end of the month, not great for the beginning of it. What do I have in business? Not a good hiring month. That's the only thing I need you to know, is that as the world kind of tilts around a little bit and it's like, shaken and stirred, people delay decisions. Yeah, that's what you need to know. There's a lot of delayed decisions in November. Keep keeping the faith, I guess, is what we're trying to say here. Because there's a lot of hopeful energy around this. The drama energy, I'm not digging. It's not disturbing me unduly. Judge and pioneer. What I like is that even though 2022 has been one of the least emotionally satisfying years for almost everybody that I talk to, they just feel like all they did was like, carry bricks uphill all year long. And then at the top of the hill, they were handed more bricks and pointed to another hill. And that's just like, that's been the spirit of 2022. It was for a reason. It was building up your basically stamina. It was building up your strength more than you think it was. It was teaching you could keep going regardless. And why is that a lesson you had to learn? Because a lot of times people, particularly in my collective, who have a tendency to be strong trauma survivors, nobody instilled self-worth or confidence in you. And so it becomes the goal of your spirit guides and the work that you are trying to do is having faith in yourself and not giving up, even when things don't go easily, because that's where, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And it's not about being tough. It is about being connected to your path and to your belief that you can achieve what you need to achieve. So if all year long you've been hammered with perseverance and just keep trying and it's still out there, it's coming, it's coming. It's like, where is it? It's on the other side of your ability to stop asking when it's coming and to trust that it is, because you're doing the work. It's a hard thing to remember, but remember, if you're doing the work, if you're doing everything you've asked for, try to have faith in you if you can't have faith in what is beyond. The world, be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. Snake, use your intuition and healing powers that will guide you to a better path, but be careful. And then I have luck. You have great energy, group number 2. Luck, you are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. Like I said, stuttering month at the very beginning of it. Good money energy towards, like, as you finish out this year, it's just, I love everything about the energy of the slide that we're going into 2023 in. But it has been an uphill battle for many people, or treading water energy. Like, I can't get anything to progress. It's almost something's happening that changes things, and not like dramatically. It's not like the fall of Western civilization or something, but there's a shift. There's a shift. And your ability to continue to persevere, to be resilient, you will stand in good stead, because you will be prepared to roll with changes as you need to. It really does do things. This ability to keep going, even when it is not like, Cracker Jack surprise every time you turn a corner. Balance. Balance has been all over me for like days. I've done so many balance. Like, I get the card in the morning, I'm like, again? How out of balance can I be? Abundance. Same cards that the first group got. Now we've got envy, and I want one more on that, gratitude. Remember, with your success, other people may envy you, but you absolutely have some kind of partnership vibe here. And I'm getting through these guys to get to the good stuff there. Let's get a wellness card. Here we go. I love this card deck. It is very, very helpful, particularly for a lot of readers watch me. It's great for helping people heal. It's great for helping people heal. It's the Purple Canyon Wellness something or other, but it's got this ridiculously long title on it. But remember Purple Canyon, and you can't go wrong. There's only one Purple Canyon oracle. Productivity. My worth is not based in my productivity, and it never has been. I do not need to take actions to prove that I belong. All babies are worthy, and they cannot in truth care for themselves. We all came into this world worthy without production. The productivity and that whole babies thing, and I was talking to you about how particularly people who grew up sometimes in families that were like, there was divorce, the dad or mom moved away. They cannot help but believe that it has to do with their worthiness and that they've done something wrong. And part of a spiritual journey and part of a healing journey is building that confidence in yourself to understand that it's like, no, they were just kind of flailing around on their own journey and not doing a very good job of it sometimes. And I just kind of got caught up in the flow, but it wasn't about me, and it will not define me. Let's go with the Infinity Oracle here, 1 and 2. We get some Endora cards as well. All right. Okay, what do we got? Fear and anxiety. That's that Queen of Pentacles energy in reverse. I think it is likely some stuff that is going on in the world manifest. Whenever you have an uptick in anxiety, work on your root chakra. A brown noise generator is a beautiful thing for an anxious mind because it almost stills it. And then try to get close to nature in the ways that you can. And again, if you are, it's like it's bitterly cold here. I live in the Antarctic. Watch a nature program. We don't have to have something physically proximate from us to feel its energy. That's why I can read people online, or people can perform Reiki online. Is you do not have to be in somebody's physical presence to feel their energy. Energy does not have, like, it's not just contained in mass. Runner, new perspective, and then summer, which is a growing season. For some people, you may have a twin flame who has, like, you've done all your healing and likely released them. You may hear from them because I have a bunch of Two of Cups energy type of things. Fear and anxiety, runner, new perspective, and summer. Here's the thing. I don't think that it, like, even as you're hearing that, you're like, oh, geez, again. Like, you'll know that that's your message when it's like, yeah, no, I did actually heal. I just got into a space of loving me enough to be like, yeah, I don't feel like being treated like that by anybody. You're not worthy of me. And that really can be how twin flame situations sometimes resolve, where it's like you still have this great love for this person, but you have a love for you that says, I only really attach myself to people who treat me as if they see my worth. But there's something with that and energy around that. It won't be for everybody. Like, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. That Three of Swords energy, that Four of Wands in reverse can be a twin flame separation. The spirit, unseen forces watch over you. The stars, a long journey brings rewards. Persevere, persevere. The word of the year that nobody likes. I think that 2022 is going to be the year that we speak of only in hushed tones, lest we accidentally invoke the darn thing. Let's get your enchanted map cards. I explained earlier, my little deck is, I had to replace my big deck, which was mysteriously missing 2 cards. I have no idea where they went. I searched my entire place, couldn't find them. And this one's amusingly tiny, but has the right card stock. So I'm using it instead of the bigger one that I got to replace it. Because the reproduction on this, it used the worst card stock I've ever seen. Like, sincerely, it's like tissue. I'll keep looking. This is a great deck. From fellow readers, Colette Baron Reed, please consider her decks. There's just so many layers to her artwork. If you sit and when you're reading and you just look at the artwork, something will start, look into the artwork, something will start standing out to you, trying to call out to you, trying to give you a message. Let's go for group number 2. I'm on group number 2. Come together. If you have recovered one ring circus, that means you're in your independent energy. If you have healed from codependency, you may not know where relationships belong in your life any longer. Your relationship to relationships will be changed. Doesn't mean you're not supposed to have them. There is a middle ground between, I used to have relationships that I focused all of my personal energy on. I thought that was my life's purpose and goal. And, well, I guess now that I'm healed, I will walk the world alone. Until you haven't had a healthy relationship. And is it possible with somebody from the past? Well, we had something show up over there. Golden Palace, weird, because that is one of the cards that was missing. I'm so glad I replaced this deck, because that was the card that I was like, wow, I haven't seen that for a while. I went through my deck and I was like, where the heck is it? Searched up and down all over the place, couldn't find it. It's not like it could have gone on vacation. I have no idea what happened to it. It came out for the first group as well. It is about exactly what it sounds like. Financial security, abundance. You have the 9 of Cups. You have a beautiful, beautiful, secure energy. And just as things are going your way, it does look as if your next challenge will be about, well, now that you've healed so much of your confidence and your ability to function by yourself, Temple Path is being healed. Now we're going to bring you a relationship, and it might freak you out because that anxiety energy, that fear and anxiety energy. Know that is completely normal. A woman holding a heart, that's your love space, means that you're healed. Why am I making that face? I guess that I would be very afraid of the idea of a relationship right now, and I'm not pursuing them. and like afraid, like I can't do it. It's like, I don't, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. And it actually feels really good. And it's because I'm happy. I'm happy as like I have this great big plan for my life. It's very interesting. It involves somebody I really care about, who's a long-term friend, where we're building something together and doing some good work and something that I can really, really invest in as having worth in this world. And since I associate romantic relationships with being like ruinous and disasters in which I get lied to and cheated on, not really, it's just my ex-husband. Since I don't have the best associations with what love does for me, I have absolutely no idea what it would feel like to be truly interested in somebody. For the most part, the people are interested in me. I'm like, you seem like a nice person, but I'm just not there. Adjacent possibilities, fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael, and the thinking woman. The thinking in the head and the heart battle. Maybe if you are in the same sort of space as I am in, where it's like, well, it was really hard work to heal, and I'm not sure who I would jeopardize that for. I literally cannot think of even one person I would jeopardize my health and happiness for. It's like, well, maybe you just haven't met him yet. Maybe you haven't met him yet. Maybe what you're fearing is the thing that would expand everything and make everything beautiful and joyful and make you understand that there has always been a divine plan. And that's what I have to tell myself. There we go. 1 and 2 and 3. You can tell when the reader still has a fear where I'm like, I don't, but I have to say this, but I also mean it. Really, there is a space between, you can be a fully aligned person. You can be a very spiritual person. Spiritual people can fall in love. Even though you focus on your path, your purpose, and how you can aid all others, that doesn't mean that you're meant to be alone in this. And there's a 2 of cups there. You're unlikely to get a lot of details on it. You're unlikely to get a lot of details on it. That's when I need people who have healed from codependency to always hear. If you hear something like that, please, a sign that you're being triggered into codependency is you go after every single detail and you want every single outcome. If you're in a healed space, you can be like, okay, something's coming up. I can deal with it as it comes. And you can get readings to check, but it needs to be like, is this a good person? Is there somebody else in the background? Not what are they thinking, feeling, doing, like, checking up on them through cards constantly, because that actually is a boundary issue. Coffee cup, meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, and friendship. Girl with the snake. We know it. Empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable and boundaries. Paradise, for the last group got this too. Happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other, healthy choices, making healthy choices in love and in life, self-love, self-care, being happier, the sword and the rose, clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, honor, protection, and power. You will know you have truly healed if you have had toxic relationships where you're not trying to heal to have a relationship, you're healing to be healed because it feels so much better. And like I said, because our spirit guides are not here to coddle us, but they are here to help us. The moment that you think you've reached a destination where it's like, I have achieved the energy that I meant to, I'm gonna be like, we're going to challenge you. We're going to bring you something that maybe you weren't anticipating. And it might freak you out, but we don't exist to freak you out. Because remember, you are fearing something because it is outside of the known universe that you built. And part of our evolution is to be constantly growing. We have never reached a destination. We are always moving forward on the path. What's your romance angel? I live in fear. Codependent. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Romantic feelings, your feelings are real and worth exploring. Codependency is not a life sentence to being single. It does not have to be. It does mean that you need to kind of keep your finger on the pulse of the health of connections. That's all it means. All right, here we go. Meaning that when you meet somebody, like, you don't start planning, well, we could go here, and like 2 weeks into a relationship planning where you could live together. That's codependency has a bunch of signs with it. One of them is overinvestment too soon. You're not going to put all of your eggs in a relationship basket again. That's the red flag to be aware of. And like, I can tell you that like the I was joking with a friend of mine that like the person that I became interested in after my divorce was like just a literal blueprint for my ex-husband. And he wasn't just a red flag field, he was a red flag factory. Like it's like I go through the resume of what this person like is about and represents, including being an alcoholic. And I would have known better than to get involved with an alcoholic than when I was like 25 years old. And finally, one day I just woke up and went like, oh my God, no. Why would I even think that? And it was a sign of being healed. We overcome. Remember, one of my primary caretakers was an alcoholic growing up, so it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. We go towards an energy signature of a person who matches somebody who did not meet our needs in a formative stage. And the very fact that like I'm now like, yeah, no, thank you, is a sign of being healed. Having high standards for who you will allow into your life. And it's not the same thing as being judgmental. You can have tremendous compassion for people who are suffering, but you can know that that's not a partner for me because we're not matching energy. You go towards matching energy. Prepare for change. Group number 2, I'm telling you, it looks like maybe love is going to be knocking on your door soon. If you are already happily paired up, what does it mean? It means this part of the message is not for you. I have pausing to reflect, positive transition, sudden change. These are your higher love oracle cards. As I said, particularly for my people who have been recovering, pardon me, I genuinely just have a cold this time. For my people who are recovering from codependency, have a good, healthy checklist of like, if I feel myself going towards a codependent space, I distract myself with all of my healthy choices and healthy habits. I text with a friend about something unrelated to relationships. You understand what I'm saying? Is all of the things that got you to a healed space. As love comes back into your life, you remain in a healed space by adhering to the program that you put together to make yourself happy by yourself. All right, here we go. I already got this. Let's get your messages of love cards. Here we go. 1, 2. You had big success in that one. Got 1 and 2 and 3. There we go. And that whole twin flame situation with me, it had to do with a spell that I did to protect myself. And that actually kept me very, very safe. And why, it's a long, long story. I won't bother you with it. Maybe I'll tell it on that podcast I keep referencing. But it kept me safe because when I love somebody so completely that nobody else can really turn my head. Past life love. Go slow. Finances. Denial. Passion. Warning. Don't dismiss red flags. Go slow is very important. The finances, denial, and passion with warning. The warning, please remember, you don't need to fear relationships. The warning is keeping a close eye on how much you're investing in the relationships and just keeping it at a healthy level. And if you feel yourself like teetering or backsliding, you go towards journaling. If you make a coffee date with a friend, you go towards an interest, you go towards a passion, you go towards a pursuit, and you just kind of put it on the appropriate shelf, being like, well, that's somebody I'm seeing. And for the most part, I live my life for me. And will you ever end up with a partner again? For some, like if that's what you want. Here's how it works. If you're codependent and in your heart of hearts, like all you've ever truly wanted to have was somebody to love, that person, you learned how to love you. And so that's the person that you give the bulk of your love to. But somebody can come along and share in that love. It doesn't work exactly like addictions. It is a form of addiction, but like somebody who's been, for instance, a heroin addict can never indulge in heroin again. Like people just shouldn't, period. But that's a bad example, but you know what I'm saying. Codependency doesn't work that way. If you've been in codependent relationships and you've taken the time to heal, when you are healed, you can slowly and tentatively and responsibly towards yourself and others approach relationships, checking in with yourself constantly to make sure and does that sound like the least exciting stuff in the world? Maybe, but it will keep you safe. It will keep you safe because there is an energetic attachment that goes with codependency. And I don't talk about it a lot. Again, I will be talking about some of this stuff more on the podcast. Definitely might have time. All right, I have success. You had success in your other cards. Woo, oh baby. And then commitment. Group number two, love is coming, love is coming. Don't look for too many details on it. And again, this is for people who you had the codependency card in your romance angels. If you have done the work to recover from codependency, and again, how can you tell when you're healed from codependency? When you hear the idea of a relationship and you're like, maybe we'll see, because you're not fearful, but you're not like, oh, thank God, a person at long last. Instead, you're like, I am my person and I am protecting me. It's just a slightly different energy, but you do not need to exclude love and connection and sex and joy and happiness and companionship. You do not need to stay single to stay healthy. One of your next tests might be, can you be healthy in a relationship? Hey, group number two, that was your reading for November, where success is your keyword. I will see you again in, oh my word, December. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to look for those daily tarot draws that will be coming Monday through Friday, starting November 1st. Moving on to file number 3, I'll edit in timestamps after the broadcast has finished. And I will let you know group number 3, because it's likely to be a factor. I have a bit of a cold and I sound a little funny, and I have to keep wiping my nose for reasons other than being allergic to Oscar. Oscar and Puddles had their bath today, and so it smells delightfully of mango shampoo in here right now. The Lima deck, my darling warhorse of a deck that I should replace because it's starting to fray, but I just can't part with it. It's a long story. I just have a sentimental attachment to this deck. Your cookie card and your angel answer card. Remember, the angel answer card is something that if you have a question around something, the angel answer, and I don't answer it, it might be an echo like group number 2's was. It is likely to give you information, and then your cookie card is always just fun. It's just fun. I never read the paragraphs on them any longer. They just don't have a tendency to have much validity. And so the keyword is something that I have a tendency to expand on because I'm a keyword reader. Let's get going here. Listening. Darkness does not always equate to evil. Light does not always bring good. This is very, very true. This is true. When we talk about light and dark, we're not talking about good and evil. We all contain darkness within us. We're meant to get to know our shadow side. That's an anchoring type of energy. It is something that keeps us attached to this 3D, our passions, our pursuits, our interest in like food and sex and all kinds of, things that might be referred to as vices. We're not meant to transcend this experience. I know some spiritual teachers, we're drawn to the teachers who have the right messages for us, by the way. Not everybody has the same answer. But we're not meant to transcend this experience. We're supposed to connect to our divine self, to have it inform our actions within the 3D so we can help this really problematic life form evolve. Listening. Good month for Remember Day of the Dead. Halloween Samhain is on Monday. I contributed to a Yahoo lifestyle article linked to in my community page that if you are interested in following a celestial and angelic practice around that, it helps you release generational curses and the work that you have done in the last calendar year. It is detailed in that, and you can check that out. Achievement, completion, and reward. What a theme has been around November for, like, I did the early draw and I had just, success, progress, communication, connection. The theme of this has been success throughout. We have crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. Remember, when you are healed, you can release, and it's not the same thing as like when we talk about living in the present, it doesn't mean you never have memories. You never dwell in the past to remember this one happened and that happened. And my son and I years ago took a trip to San Francisco, and we didn't realize it, but the Blue Angels were in town. And he wanted to go out to Alcatraz, and like on the ferry was super crowded, and we're like, wow, Alcatraz must be ridiculously popular. It was the beginning of Navy Week. We kind of didn't realize it. And as we were walking around Alcatraz, and I have a picture of this, the Blue Angels came up right beside him, like right by and it was amazing. And it turned out the reason it was so crowded was everybody was trying to get there to watch the air show that they all knew about. And we're like, look, the Blue Angels have materialized. And it's that kind of like wonderful thing that you can go back and revisit as a memory. It's not the same as dwelling in the past. Our memories have meaning. They bring us joy. It is when they cause us pain and trauma and we can't evolve past that and learn the lessons from it. And we're still in pain from it that we're trying to mend and release. But you're not meant to release your good memories. You are experiencing a spiritual blossoming. Take a new direction and be open to new experiences. This is the Soul Explorer's Oracle. I'm actually going to go ahead and recommend it pretty strongly. It has been on point. It has just been on point. I have chaos and conflict. Yes. Particularly if you're in the US, domestic situation, weirdness around the election, we've been expecting it for a while. Everything turns out fine, but it does mean that looking to your internal work rather than like, don't spend all your time watching the news or something, it'll just distress you. Changes need to happen sometimes. And is it a great big change? No, it's actually not. Chaos and conflict, there is a little bit of conflict. It's already in the greater world. I mean, if you've been following the situation in Iran, that is the first female-led revolution. The feminine divine is rising up and trying to take back its power. If you are connected to this collective, then, spoiler alert, but the feminine divine is very, very important to you because the goddess energy is the energy of creation. That's why the feminine divine is so special to magicians, to practitioners. Chop wood, chaos and conflict, chop wood. You're the first group to get a bunch of likely business opportunities energy. Embrace the feminine. I do not look at these beforehand, and I did not see that, but indeed, the feminine divine, all the goddess work, on the high priestess, it is the goddess Persephone. Persephone is about abundance as well. Particularly as we head into the restful months when Persephone returns to the underworld, and we are at the time of the veil is thinnest, doing some work around the goddess Persephone for abundance, particularly around Samhain and the Day of the Dead, Dies de los Muertos, is very important. Pomegranates can represent her, by the way. Don't forget to leave offerings for your ancestors. I will put up a picture of my altar later. I've been making ancestor offerings to try, and I've been working on breaking generational curses for my collective. Why do we have a generational curse? Because powerful people almost always do. It's usually something trying to hold you back. Sometimes it's something that, somebody in your ancestral pool actually did wrong. I have rescuer, light attribute, provides strength and support to others in crisis, a little bit of a crisis energy, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Hey, listen, when you work in a healing field, remember you need to be compensated for your energy. You're not doing anything wrong. Be kind and generous where you can be, but know that you also, you deserve to have a healthy energy exchange. Shadow attributes. And by the way, you have to get really good at having good boundaries and saying no without shame, which is one of the things that I've had to learn over the course of 3 years. Shadow attributes assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. Particularly as healers, when we're working with people, even though we can have tremendous promise for them, remember, sooner or later, they're meant to be healed. And it doesn't mean you release the connection, but you release the nature of it sometimes. I have goddess all over this pile, all over it. Light attribute, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Shadow attribute, exploration of the female, exploitation of the female nature and form. We got a lot going on with the exploitation of the female nature and form. You are here for a reason. Never forget that. Never forget that. Even if you do not understand your path and your purpose quite yet, there is a reason for your existence. And if you're saying, but it has hurt, with absolutely no offense to you or in any way saying that your pain does not matter, it matters so much, but it's not the only thing that matters. Let yourself heal and be mighty. And let yourself, it is a choice. It is a choice. It is a choice to say, well, that terrible thing happened to me, but I'm going to find out what it can do for me in the aftermath. And it is not to say that we suffer to do things for us, but that in all of our suffering, there are lessons about who we truly are and who we wish to be and how to get there. And tapping into your guides and learning all about the soul's journey is, to the extent that you can, is very, very important and meaningful work. Here we go. Salima, bring us what is coming up in November for group number 3. I'm inordinately proud whenever I remember those tabletops because I so often forget them. The other month when I was all like, yay, I remembered them, I did not have them in the camera frame. Oops, here we go. 1 and 2. All right. Page of Pentacles in the upright. Wow, new business opportunities for group number 3. The moon in the upright. That was actually in reverse. I beg your pardon. That's intuition being very clear, secrets being revealed, certainty in many things. In the upright, the moon can be about confusion and uncertainty. It is one of the few cards that in reverse, like, is pretty much the opposite energy. Not all of them are. And every reader will have a different relationship to their cards. Never be afraid to develop your own meaning for a card when it keeps showing up in a particular way. For me, the Seven of Swords can be about injections, vaccines, or type 1 diabetics, or people who need to take insulin. I won't even bore you with how I discovered that, but I was finally like, yeah, it does actually look like that guy's carrying needles. Oh, that's why it keeps showing up for this. The more you read, the more you will find the ways that your connection is established and your thesaurus is established through your cards. All guidebooks, all teachers, they give you their lexicon, their knowledge base, and you will expand from it. When you have a true connection, it will continue to expand. Empress in reverse, which is the goddess energy. It is an innovative solution energy. It's also an indulgence energy where, like, maybe you're picking out on junk food occasionally. Let yourself enjoy your physical body. Please don't be a warden in your own life. It is good to be healthy, but we only get this physical experience for a finite time. Enjoy it. Don't be, like I said, don't be a martyr to spirituality. The world in the upright, complete cycles. That's a success energy as well. Knight of Wands in the upright. Group number 3, like, so much is happening in your business life with opportunities coming towards you. The lessons that you have learned are fueling more success, and you haven't seen it yet, and you're probably tired of hearing it. But the back space of 2022 is paving a path for 2023. And it has been a hard year, and it was meant to be. And, like, throw rotten fruit, don't throw rotten fruit. It's fine. I get it. I get how frustrating it is. There is actually worth in learning how to continue on a journey, even when there are obstacles, even when you're frustrated, even when you cannot see the harvest from your crop coming to you. You continue to toil, you continue to try, and that builds confidence, and it builds experience, and it builds the ability to roll with changes and to meet difficulties. There is a point to struggling for success. It teaches you how to handle the things that challenge it. Emperor in the upright, card for Aries, the card for personal power. It's in your internal influence area. I feel like you're feeling very strong. The Hanged Man in the upright. I like this card for new perspectives. I like this card for, like, whenever you're ready, you can free yourself, because the Hanged Man hanged himself in order to gain a new perspective. That is the story behind the Hanged Man. He can, in fact, because his hands are never bound, he can simply free himself and move forward. But sometimes we've been in stasis, trying to help us achieve things that are not about our wishes and dreams, but about the work we need to accomplish to make sure that we can appreciate and enjoy our wishes and dreams. You have a really good energy here. Knight of Pentacles in the upright. Tower in reverse. Okay, second group to get that in the exact same position. That is a starting over, a managed change, the deck is cleared, a new opportunity coming towards you. It's not a bad card. I don't have a bad relationship to the Tower necessarily. My bad cards are and do I believe that there are bad cards? It's like, yes, I understand that there's a lesson to be learned in everything, but sometimes it hurts when it's happening, and therefore it is received as bad news, and that is normal. Toxic spirituality drives me insane. You do not have to repress your feelings that way. If you want to get angry, get angry. You want to cry, get crying. If you want to scream, scream a little bit, let it out. Understand that sometimes this sucks. And then once you've purged that negative energy, understand that you're still standing, and what else is it teaching you, and what can you do with it? Tower in reverse, and then the Temperance card in reverse. Interesting. With the Eight of Swords in the upright, which is a path being blocked. It's like an addict hitting rock bottom energy. Magician in reverse, clarifying my Hanged Man. Two of Cups in reverse. 10 of Cups in reverse. I want to get the rest of the cards down on this one. Six of Swords in the upright, leaving a difficult situation behind, sailing towards smoother waters. It can be turning your back on a situation. It can be literal death, nothing else supporting that. Ace of Cups in reverse with the Two of Swords in the upright. It's like somebody's trying to come back into your life and it's up to you whether or not you block them. They may have undergone a change in their life, at least hear them out. Like, even if you say no, never darken my doorstep again, have compassion for other people's struggles, even if they've hurt you badly. Even if you're like, you're, as far as I'm concerned, the devil incarnate, remember that we all contain dark and light energies, and maybe they're just a person who really lost their way. And you having enough patience and compassion to at least listen, maybe keep them on the path. You don't owe them anything. There is this energy where you don't owe this person anything. But be who you authentically are. And if you would have compassion for others, have compassion for that person, just don't allow them access to you. But there's somebody who reappears in your life in a weird way. We've been getting that message for a while, and messages repeat until, yes, because it will happen at different times for different people. So a collective has repeating energy signatures. It's almost like we're living a program sometimes. Queen of Pentacles in reverse, not the first time that's shown up in that area either. Star in the upright, dreams coming true, psychic connection. It's the card for the astrological sign Aquarius. It's in work. Even though success is going to hit you weird. Like, your success is building and coming towards you in a really interesting way. And it's going to, don't be surprised if it causes a different reaction than you always thought it would have. Like, you might want to kind of run and hide. With Justice in the upright, which is the Libra card, which is also the divine timing card. It looks like that is exactly what they're talking about, which is that things happen when they're meant to. Somebody is returning to your life. It looks like you let them go after listening to them, but that, like, you've healed that part of you that is very tender-hearted, that used to get you into all kinds of trouble because somebody could pull on your heartstrings. You know how to protect your heart well, but you're still a compassionate person. You're still a compassionate person. And here's the thing, whatever they're trying to say, if a perfect stranger was hanging out with you and tried to tell you about that journey, you would listen compassionately. So be the best version of you. You're a very good human. Flowers, whoa, be generous. Success and emotional fulfillment are yours. Success has been all over this reading. The word success, success, success. Now, is it immediate where you hear coins descending into your bank account and jingle, jingle, jingle? It does not appear so, because I have a few practical pentacle cards, but it's like the shape is you can glimpse it now. You know where it's coming from. Like, the signs are beginning to gain momentum and speed. And if you're saying it's been like that all year long, why should I trust it now? Because you actually needed to build up your stamina, to keep going when things are elusive, to have the faith in yourself that you always deserved to have, but you didn't. And is that kind of a crappy answer when you've been struggling and struggling and nothing works out? Try to see it for the worth it brings. Because whether or not you realize it, you have developed confidence in yourself. Mountain, know that you are protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. With Angel, your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. It's like there's a challenge around, do you truly have love for all, or do you only have love for those you like? Because the true test of character is not in how we treat people that we vibe with, not people we have affinity with, but people we do not like, people who can't do anything for us as well. That's the true test of character, not in how we treat people that we're trying to interact with and have a relationship with, but in how we treat everybody, including people who may have done us wrong. We got a weird energy around that. This Emperor card is interesting to me. You have all the power now. You have all the power now. And you'll know it. You'll know it. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. Chop wood. Opportunities that require work that may not pay immediately, but have, you can see where it's going very clearly this time. Freedom. Trust. Judgment. Here, let's read. I don't always read the little paragraphs underneath because, as I keep saying, I'm a keyword reader. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. And then judgment. Oh, wow. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. It has something to do with that. Here's the funny thing. I think there has been a part of you that was at different points when it comes to this particular person, been like, I would roast marshmallows if they were on fire. And then you'd like be like, I don't really mean that, I don't really mean that, because it caused you pain and difficulty. But you're not, why is this coming to you? It's not to challenge you, it's to give you back that part of yourself. Because I think you feel like you hold love for all except for that one person. I picked those up without really completing the read, but we don't need anything more from the tarot. We're gonna go to the oracle cards, because I always use a bazillion oracle cards because I like to. Let's get your Endure cards first. I like to get everything off of this table, and then, well, it's not true, because the love cards I threw together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. In the whole, like, long dark night of the soul energy, when the sun breaks, it's like you can almost you keep waiting for the night to come back. It can sometimes be difficult to believe that it's like, oh, this could, because you're going to think it's elusive again. When you reconnect, it will be there always now. Because I have this feeling a lot of people made a spiritual connection, and for 2-3 weeks felt amazing, and then for 6 months afterwards felt so connected and so guided, and then it dissipated and you're like, I'm in this by myself. And it's felt that way for so long and for too long. And now it's coming back, and it's like you feel like how long are you here for this time? It will feel different, and it will always be there. The shield, you are safe from harm. Remember, real world energy, a little bit weird, you're safe from harm. Please try not to worry about it. The hand of fate, forces beyond your control intervene. And then the king, authority and diplomacy. Please remember that emperor card in your internal space that has to do with that. You have the power in your own life. You have the power of yes, you have the power of no. When you understand yourself, you have a command of your full power. And it doesn't mean that you have to think you're perfect. To know that you are enough just as you are is not to say I'm perfect just as I am. Rather, I have my challenges that I am working on, but I love me in the bulk of me. And I'm so proud of me for continuing to try. And I feel powerful because I've continued to evolve and continued to progress. Did I already get these guys? I don't think I did. Let's go 1 and 2 and 3. Wishing well. That is giving a wish over the divine and knowing that it will be brought to you in the shape and the form that is best for you. The book itself says, the best prayer is thy will be done, not mine. Well, because we're invested in our own journey, it can be really hard to get to that surrender place where you're like, well, I would like this in the shape and the form that you wish to bring it to me. That's really what thy will be done, not mine means. This is what I'm asking for, and bring it to me in the time, the space, in the shape that is best for me. Moonlight, another card of intuition with compass, which is integrity and being who you really are, Ghostlands. Somebody from the past will help you rediscover, because I think you think they changed you, and they didn't. They did not. They changed themselves. Let's get your wellness card, your Purple Canyon wellness card. World's longest title for an oracle deck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh my goodness. I'm tired of having a cold. Here we go. All right. Creating roots. Like tree roots snaking into the earth, I will create a solid foundation before reaching for the moon and stars. That's what that perseverance and that adversity energy is about. It's about creating your roots. Before reaching for the moon and stars, like swaying branches in the wind, I can bend, move, and even break, but challenging times will never cause me to fall. That is what you have been learning. That is what you've been learning. And if you're saying, I'm so sick of learning, can I graduate already? We never truly graduate, and you needed to learn it, just like I did, just like we all do. We want an easy life because we want ease and to be comforted. And our souls want us to be challenged, to grow, and to evolve. So there is that little bit of like knocking heads with our divine self sometime. Release. I release all jealousy that my body is holding on to. Instead, I extend a feeling of joy and compassion for others. I swear we've been talking about that. that succeed around me. This frees my mind and body to focus on the good entering my life. I don't think you're jealous of other people's success. I think you've been wondering where yours is. Very natural, very normal. It's on its way. Let's get going with your wellness cards, and then I'm going to we're moving to the love cards now. Oh, I beg your pardon, we're not. I'm sorry. I'm a little scattered on this one. I'll be honest, there has been an energy in this that has been throwing me ever so slightly. It is the repeated success in Two of Cups, that, the early draw by Spooky really was telling me what was Spooky Junior. I have two decks that one is Spooky Junior. It's a long story. New love, self-sabotage, financial loss. We're going to keep going here. Financial loss does not, we haven't had even one suggestion of that. Financial loss can be being about drain. Self-sabotage can be about prioritizing with financial loss, can be about prioritizing another person in your relationship over yourself, feeling like sacrificing is the way that you prove love. You're not meant to sacrifice yourself regularly. In really good relationships, sometimes your dream will go on a back burner to support a partner, but then you get to bring your pot back to the front burner again. It gets to be your time. It's not. The mark of being compassionate and kind is not putting yourself behind another person. As you're more important, I should support you and show you love. I will show me love, but I will also show you love is the healthy one. Push and pull energy with inner child healing. Group number 2 got the great big lecture on, hey, when you're healed and it's time for a new relationship, be prepared. Be prepared. It puts you into an anxious energy, which is that financial loss energy. It's a stage in healing too, but it's a very good stage. The Sword and the Rose, clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. Girl with a snake. Empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable, and boundaries. It's one of the codependent energies. And why? This is a group of empaths, psychics, healers, intuitive people, sensitives. We have a tendency to attract very dark energies that are trying to drain our light or use our power. And that is where the empath narcissist paradigm comes in. It's also from psychological wounds, usually sustained during the formative stage. And like I said, my friend Devin and I are starting a podcast where we're going to be talking about how to marry spirituality with psychology. Heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. Seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference with healing heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic addictions and relationships. I'm so afraid I'm about to sneeze, and I am. I have a cold. I'm really sorry. There we go. And no, I don't normally sneeze like that. It's just, not convenient to sneeze right now. 1 and 2 and 3. I don't always sneeze like a backed up cat. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. Let's get going for group number 3. What's the romance angel? It was not as right in your face, but like everybody's like crossing a boundary together now. The time of solitude ends. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. If you receive an apology from somebody, understand that your heart can extend compassion to them, and you can say, I thank you for the apology. What you did was super duper wrong. And I hope you learn from it and heal from it and grow from it. And I do forgive you because I healed me. But I hope you heal you. Like you can still hold somebody accountable for having done something wrong. And also extend compassion towards them. Achievement and success. Like I said, the word success all over November. And in a weird way, because it's like you can see it now. Like how it's going to happen. The picture is taking shape. The players are on stage. We go 1 and 2 and 3. And I know 2022 just, who invented that one? Our guides are always trying to help us be the best version of ourselves that we can be. And sometimes it means challenging us and thwarting us and irritating us. And even sometimes we end up feeling not cared about. And they always just love, 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 love us. No matter what we say and do, they love, 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 love us. Lost love. Cool, calm, and collected. That's that person coming back from I'm like, I can't play poker. I'm sure that's obvious. Like, I literally don't know how, but also I have a very reactive face. Cool, calm, and collective. Soulmate. Unfounded fear. I want one more on this one. Loss issues. Soulmate. I think you might finally get an apology from somebody, and you are going, you feel so differently about this person that like you practically envision them with horns type of thing. And everybody, even if they're, remember, labels are labels, but it doesn't, everybody can change and grow and heal. That which was made can be unmade. The only person there's no hope for is a psychopath, because they're just missing a giant piece. But even narcissists are just, they were formed beginning with an emotional wound where they didn't feel loved. And so they started to exclude everybody else, and they became extremely self-involved and to the exclusion of other people, and they shut down their ability to, because they never felt empathized with, they shut down their empathy towards others. Can a narcissist ever heal? They can go towards healthier and kinder and more expansive behaviors. Everybody, we have to let people change. If you've changed, allow for the possibility that somebody else could, and it doesn't mean they have to be in your life. It's just, like I said, unfounded fear. I think you think they're pretending something to get something out of you, because they've done that in the past. They've done that in the past.
Yeah.
You have the discernment and the self-protection to handle what's coming up. Fate. This is a destined partnership. Soulmate. Your soulmate loves and accepts and respects you. Patience. Everything will unfold with divine timing. Longing, lesson, and wait. Longing is someone is secretly yearning for you. And then the lesson is about to have a help. Here's the thing that you're not thinking of if you have recovered from one of those hideous empath narcissist situations. You don't understand the role of forgiveness yet, because narcissists don't apologize typically. So you've likely suffered a great deal and never been apologized to. And, you know, there just might be a little bit of a challenge around, what do you do with somebody who seems contrite when you've convinced themselves they're incapable of contrition? Can somebody who has never previously expressed remorse feel remorse? Sure, they can learn through their consequences. And there was something about a financial loss there. So like maybe they got smacked with the karma stick. No. Definitive no from our angel answers, and then change. I'm going to read the paragraph on this, even though I've been keywording the other ones. A change of residence, partner, career, or job is in the cards. You're restless and in need of a change, and that is exactly what is coming your way. I think that describes me. I'm about ready to change a whole bunch of things, and I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I've got some fun things in development that make me feel very hopeful and happy about like the worth of a journey to try and help other people as well. There we go. And like I said, it's a bit of a fun story because I got told to go and find somebody who it turned out really, really needed me at that particular time. And gave me back faith at a time that I really needed it. Freaked me out really good too. All right, here we go. We're moving on to pile number 4. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Crystal Journeys is going to bringing you the tarot spread. Success has been the key word for this particular month. This is November 2022. 2022 has been like, let's face it, don't ask that SOB back. It's been a tough year for a lot of people. It genuinely has. But there is worth in challenge, and there is worth in adversity. And particularly when you're on the other side of that, you're going to be able to glimpse it, see it, embrace it, and understand it. But for right now, you're just still trying to get through it. Let's get the angel answer card and the cookie card separated. Remember, the premise behind this is if you have a question that I do not answer throughout the course of this reading, hopefully the angel answer will help you out with it because it's frequently one word or just a few. Let's get going with letting go of urgency, surrender, freedom from time constraints. Everything happens in the time that it is meant to, which is frequently not the time we're demanding. Because when we're like now, that means that we have not like decided that everything comes to us when it is meant for us. Because it really does. It really genuinely does. And why can things that we really need to meet our basic needs be delayed? Because they don't want our blessings to injure us. And honest to goodness, success carries with it, it's because it causes us to question our ability so much. It carries a lot of stress with it unless you're healed. You can't enjoy success unless you believe in yourself and your ability to meet the challenges that it may bring. And that's why it can get delayed sometimes. We have trapped. Aha. This is a little cage energy. I feel like you've been trapped in stasis forever. And you're like, what did I do? Why am I sentenced to prison? Everything that I just said. Even if it is hard for you to hear and understand, and I've had to tell myself this over and over again, success has its very own brand of pressure with it. If you've been held without allowing much to happen, no matter how much you try, ask yourself what you've learned from that. Have you increased your skill set? Have you increased your knowledge base? It's done something for you, even if it hasn't given you what you wanted yet. First light, beginning a new cycle. And I have a feeling the key is here and that cage door is opening. Weird energy in the external world, be aware of that. Throughout the globe, there are a bunch of places that are experiencing civil unrest right up until war, my goodness. In the United States, we have a fractious energy around the November elections. I think it resolves well, but we're in for a little bit of a weird one. Like, don't just obsessively watch the news. That's going to work out in the way that serves the most people and is kindest to the most people, if that gives you an indication of what my cards are showing. Let go of the old. We've got two letting go energies right away. A light-filled angel is at your side. It watches you at every dark doorway. This whole year may have felt like a dark doorway, but you have never been alone. You wouldn't have this painting hanging. Well, maybe you would, but I personally wouldn't. This sort of carnival art, I actually really like. The deck itself is awesome, and it is the Soul Explorer's Oracle, and I really recommend it because it really does appear to be your highest self trying to talk to you. So I really do recommend it. And again, I really don't get anything if you order the decks that I talk about. It's just, I know so many readers watch me, and we spend the earth on decks, and some of them, like, you touch once and never touch again. I have one that was called the Healing Oracle. It's mean. I will never ever use it again. I use it to mark piles sometimes, but I started reading through it and I'm like, there's a bunch of ways to say things and you're choosing the worst. Bye. And so I just kind of discarded it, which you're allowed to do. You're allowed to do. You do not have to adhere to other people's programs to be successful. Never ending story. Like I said, 2022, that trapped energy with blessed. It's soon resolving into an energy of everything new is coming to you. Fool, which is the beginning of new things as well. Fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy is the light attribute, but the shadow attribute is using humor to wound rather than liberate, denial of your emotional truth. You know how most comedians are actually trauma survivors? Because they turned their pain in a humorous direction. But sometimes they lose their ability to truly understand their emotions because they do not understand that was a coping mechanism to help them not be overcome by grief and pain. And even people who are and because usually trauma survivors are some of the funniest people around because they have to learn how to laugh at all the crap that happened to them. But they can stop realizing it's a choice and it becomes a tool or a shield. And you have to drop it sometimes and be authentic. Be authentic with yourself. Be authentic with yourself. Even everything we go through, it's important to keep perspective. It's also important to allow ourselves to be yeah, that caused me a lot of grief and pain and it changed me. But I reclaimed me. Oh, this is my least favorite card, definitely. prostitute. Like, it does not mean what you think it means, but it's a funny name for a card. Light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. And that is all of life. That is all of life. Keeping your integrity in all that you do. That is what you will always value most about yourself. Don't sell yourself out for anyone or anything, or in pursuit of money ever, because everybody who does that, they do something corrupting to themselves, that they don't understand the full price. They just don't. Shadow attribute is places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. It is better to be a very powerful version of you and know that you can meet every challenge because you're very divinely connected, than to pursue what our society, which is deeply troubled, tells you is success. Your success is in joy and abundance, and sometimes material gain, because stuff is nice and comfortable. Appreciate your talents. Hey, do yourself a favor around the 31st and then November 1st, which is the Day of the Dead, Samhain. It's a great day for connecting with your ancestors. Even if it's been a difficult journey, because it's been a strange year for a lot of people, please appreciate the fact that you're here, you're still trying, you're still going forward. Even though you didn't get your Cracker Jack surprise yet, you're still walking your soul path because you value the idea of there being meaning to this world, not just about, if I do this, I will be rewarded. Instead, you are doing this because you find it rewarding at an emotional level, even when it does not pay off in a 3D sense, but it's about to, is what it looks like. Please remember, even our challenges can bless us. Like I said, I'm so sorry. I genuinely have a cold this time. I'm going to be down there vitamin C dosing like crazy soon. Here we go. Crystal Journeys is bringing you your predictive spread. What have we got for pile number 4? 1 and 2 and 3. We're going for 4 because it's 4. Why not? 2 of Pentacles in the upright, a balanced state, making ends meet, sailing through rough seas in a smooth manner. It's crossed by the star in the upright, which is card of dreams coming true, psychic connections. It's the Aquarius card. It can also quite simply be a social media star. It can be rising to the top of your field. It can be dreams coming true as well. It's card for faith. Faith, hope, and love. There we go. All right, here we go. With the Page of Wands in the upright, it's like a new project is trying to come to you too. The Lovers in the upright, that's the Gemini card. I don't often see it as a romantic pairing card. It's in the recent past, but it may be a romantic pairing card. It's a card about choices normally. 9 of Swords in reverse, putting fears to rest, sleeping, resting easy, thank the Lord. 6 of Wands in the upright, triumph over adversity, graduation energy. It's pretty much graduation day for a bunch of people. 6 of Wands is somebody new coming in as well. It's success. It is winning a battle, if not the entire war as well. It can be actual literal traveling too. 4 Swords in reverse, taking action. With the 10 of Wands in reverse. Boy, is your worry level ever going down, and not immediately. Like, wait till about like midway through the month. By Thanksgiving in the US, which is like I forget, it's like the last Thursday, and like I don't eat meat, so like I don't care any longer. Like the last Thursday in November. By the time you're reaching that, you're gonna have plenty of reasons to be thankful, even if I can't remember when it is. The Emperor in the upright, and the hopes and fears. Boy, I've been seeing that card a lot again. Queen of Pentacles in reverse, anxiety, fear, economic anxiety in the greater world. It's an anxious world outside of your little world. Stay in your little world and only peek out there to make sure it's like, do I need to put anything out or potentially build a moat? And you're going to be fine. Remember, if you're on a spiritual path and you're in this collective, you're protected in your physical safety. You may not have everything you want yet. And people you're protecting, they're like, why do I not have all the money I want? Because that's not what protected means. Protected means that you are sustained as you continue on your path. That if you go towards solutions, they will be there. Now, it does not mean that you will never be successful. It's just that your success is brought to you through your own efforts. Even when I do magic, really good magic amplifies the efforts we make. If it tries to stand in for our efforts, it does that flash and thunder magic I'm always talking about, where it comes in really quickly, but unless you've got the whole foundation laid out in all other areas, you rarely get to keep it, or it disrupts something else. And that's why when the law of attraction, and like, I know people get angry with me whenever I'm like, there's a flaw in the law of attraction. There just is. And I'm sorry that it upsets people. If you listen, it will help. The flaw is we cannot ignore a negative emotion. We have to deal with it and release it. That's the only flaw, because the law of attraction teaches you to act as if everything is wonderful and perfect and only think happy thoughts. If you are trying to ignore deep-seated pain, trauma, depression, or anxiety, it's still there. You have to heal it. And that's why when something comes into you, that negative energy that is like, no, you need to deal with me, will draw you away and release that until it's truly time. So heal. That is literally all that means when I say there's a flaw in the law of attraction. It skips the healing that you need to do to achieve that very positive energy that is true, rather than ignoring your closet, your mental closet. 3 cups in the upright, celebrations, community, friendship. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Boy, that's a not needing to toil very much. Now, every now and then it's a failure energy. It genuinely is. Page of Swords in the upright, Wheel of Fortune in the upright, with the Ace of Wands in reverse. I have opportunities coming to you, but like you can't act on them immediately. In the meantime, like, I guess kind of make your blueprint for what you will do. It's like an offer is being presented to you, but you can't act on it immediately, and it tweaks out your world's being a little bit weird. It tweaks out your anxiety. Work on your root chakra, listen to a brown noise generator. Anybody who's reading with me, half the time I'm like, I'll send you an email later with all these links. Brown noise generators are a gift from on high for people with anxiety. Listen to one, you'll almost feel like it took a Xanax. I have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, which is an easing of financial circumstances, being brought in from the cold, and healing. The Tower in the upright. I do not have a bad relationship to the Tower, because it is divine intervention as much as it is anything. Like sometimes I'm the Tower in people's readings because I reveal something to them. It's revelations. With the Strength card in the upright, which is compassion and overcoming and strength and courage. It's also the Leo card. There's a big change in your life. And like I said, you can't, it's like it's a planning stage thing. It's a planning stage thing. Queen of Wands, it shifts something in a positive direction for you and makes something that is important to you possible. Queen of Wands in the upright with a Hierophant in the upright, which is the card for the patriarchy, for traditionalism, for faith. It is also the card for the astrological sign Taurus. It can be traditional marriage as well. It can be government institutions. And it comes out with the High Priestess in the upright, which like there's something a little bit concealed with this Emperor energy. This Emperor energy, and this is all very related. But honest to goodness, it is like that trapped energy with the cage that we have. It's as if the cage is going to dissolve. Like I'm not going to say that you're going to realize you're living in a cage of your own making, because you weren't. Like you really there's been a point where it's like, no matter how hard I tried, nothing would happen. And it was, and you got sick of hearing the words, you're held in stasis. 4 of Swords in the upright is being held in stasis or put on pause. In reverse, it's like they opened up the cage door and said that you were in a healing ward, you were never in a prison. We were trying to let you heal so that you could enjoy absolutely, because if you're not healed and success comes to you, you're still not healed and you're in pain. And so then you have the success and you're like, why does everything still suck? Because you're not healed. And so healing and then being successful is it's just such a beautiful feeling. It is like everything coming in around you and painting the picture of your life that you always wanted to see. We have Devil. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. Might have something to do with this. Remember, the Devil is a Capricorn card as well. Fool. Now, this is a fortune reading deck, but it always translates as well. Fool. Have the courage to embrace change, take risks, and be adventurous. And then I have Lovers. There are 2 paths ahead. Be true to yourself. Like I said, it's usually the Lovers card is about choices. One thing that you need to remember is that you, as you are given the opportunity to act more in 3D, please do not abandon a spiritual side of yourself to work solely in the 3D. We get caught in this world. There's simply more to reality. The first tenet of faith is that there's more to this world than we can see. And there is a world unseen all around us, and magic is very real. And so are spirit guides, and so are souls. And so is the divine. And I always, like, for people who are just like, no, I'm an atheist to the bone, it's like, okay, you do that. I'm not. I have a lot of reasons not to be. And if I sat you down and told you all of them, you'd be like, that's a bunch of coincidences that seem to form a plan. Yeah, it can't be random. That's part of the reason that I'm always like, yeah, no, I believe in the divine, even though I have maybe not had the nicest life sometimes. I 100% believe that there is a divine power with me always. I get mad at it and yell at it and call it names sometimes, but I know that it's always there. The unicorn, good fortune and friendship. You have this really fortunate blossoming energy with love, true love and fidelity. The dragon, strength and wisdom. You get a lot of strength cards on this. True love and fidelity, good friendship energy, good gathering energy towards the end of the month. There's a celebration after like a challenge around something as well. What else we can go for here? Let's get a healing energy card. There we go. What do we got? 1 and 2 and 3. I'm on pile number 4, right? I am on pile number 4. I'm on cold medicine. If you can't tell, it's making me a little bit like, All right, emotions and abundance. Let's talk emotions. I am a human being that has emotions. Feeling is a part of life, and negative emotions that I encounter are welcome. However, I will simply acknowledge them and let them pass. I will not hold on to these thoughts, but intentionally release them as they come. Negative emotions are not your enemy. Anger helps protect you. Sadness helps tell you when you're hurt. If you allow yourself to feel your feelings, that's how you learn to respond, not react. Because you're used to them being there and you understand them and you're not threatened by them. Don't be threatened by negative emotions. That's the other flaw in the law of attractions. We're meant to be balanced. We're meant to be balanced. If everything is made of light, it dissipates very easily because gravity exists in dark emotions and in dark energy. It anchors it into the 3D. All right, abundance. Money is abundant, thank God. And I only have to seek it with confidence, walking forth into fortune. I will do the work and the money shall come. It does not come instantaneously. And that's the thing that is hard for people. You can, like, it can take a while. Like, you may be asked to actually work for your success in a way that it's like it takes a while, because you will know it is truly yours if you work for it. Anything that is granted as a boon and a blessing on high, like, you know how lottery winners, like, half the time they lose all the money or they ruin their lives? It's because having everything come in at once doesn't emotionally prepare you for it. Please try to remember that part. Is that if things have taken longer than you want them to, it's been emotionally preparing you to make the most out of the success and the blessings that you've been asking for. Even if it's relationships, even if it's money, even if it's a new place to live, even if it takes longer, when it comes to you, it will mean so much because it will exist on so many different layers and levels for you. Runner, inner strength all over this spring, which is new beginnings and growth. Unexpected message, energy cleanse, and healing old wounds. Please remember to to align your chakras. This runner energy and inner strength, unexpected message, and energy cleanse. I don't really have an unexpected message energy around this. I think that, like, this thing that I was talking about where it appears like, and multiple files have had that because collectives have repeating energy signatures in it. It really is like there is something that will take you a little off guard and you won't know whether or not you can invest in it as being real. Judge for yourself in the moment. Judge for yourself in the moment. One of the things you've been healing is your anxiety, which tells you need to know how things are going to turn out before they ever enter your life. And when you heal anxiety, you're like, as it turns out, I will rise to the occasion. I don't need to spoil every surprise because I am not fearing every calamity. Yeah. All right, let's get going here. Let's go for your wellness cards. What else have I got here? Because I've got a very mild frustration energy, very mild frustration, because something starts happening and you can't do much with it. I don't think it's like a lockdown energy. I do think that it's a very weird month in terms of who saw that coming? Pretty much everybody. I think there's some weird stuff around the election. I just do. Not in California. But in a lot of other places, it barely seems to touch California. But it's not going to be bad. It's a brief, loud flash in the pan. Okay. There we go. People raging against the dying of what they think is light. The chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. The runner energy is the opposite against that. Both. I think that you've moved into this very healthy and secure energy. Receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, and closure issues. I think not today, not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, call, person, boundaries, still angry. Healthy choices, making healthy choices in love and life, self-love, self-care, being happier. There's something you're still angry about, and it involves another human being, and it's like they cross your path in an interesting way. And you don't know whether or not to invest in it, judge in the moment. And then if you've changed a great deal, it does not, even if you recognize that it's like, yeah, maybe you have changed, that doesn't mean the person belongs in your life. It's just somebody who has a vaguely sinister vibe, comes back in a not sinister form, and you don't know what to do with it. You just kind of don't know what to do with it. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. That might be who I'm talking about. And is it unrequited? You had feelings and they weren't returned? I don't know. I kind of think no. Codependency, addictions are affecting your romantic life and romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. I think that it's going to be different for everybody because it's a general reading. I think that there is a resurgence of someone or something in your life, and your feelings, you used to have a lot of feelings about this person and you just kind of don't anymore. And you don't fully trust it, but you kind of try to approach them as you would a stranger. And it's very weird because that cage thing, like I said, it dissolves. It was a change in a perception you'll know you'll be guided when it happens, and you will know exactly what I mean. But it will be like you will see very clearly. You'll just see very clearly. Dragon's Lair, which is peril. Sad embrace. Whoa. Only negative cards for file number 4. Everybody else has been getting these very, very positive cards. Protecting treasure, you are protected. And there's nothing else negative. There's no mourning, weeping, or grieving. With Bone Collector, which is about the pieces of you that were excluded from you, your confidence, your ability to love without fear, your ability to walk forward in this world, believing in your safety and protection. Those are the parts of you that the Bone Collector keeps, and they're still there, and you claim them through healing. And then encouragement, you're not alone, with Come Together as well. Now, the Dragon's Lair and Sad Embrace with that anxiety energy, like I said, it's like a dream's coming true and you think it's just in time for everything to go kaput. It's not. Nothing's going kaput. And is that something pretty dramatic? A little bit. I don't have any bad cards around it. It's just that I think it coincides with a lot of things going right for you. And because life has taught you not to trust happiness, you think, and you're not wrong. You likely lived around somebody or with somebody who you understood after a while they punished you for being happy if they weren't the person making it. And so when you are happy and there's even one small thing that suggests this is not going to go well, you become convinced that it won't go well. Try to understand that, like, if you've been told for a long time things are going to work out, you're a protected person, this is a path that you are walking, and it may not take the time that you want to walk it, but we promise that you're really on a path. They're not punking you. I keep getting that throughout this fall, is please remember that they're not going to yank something away just as something seems to be appearing for you. Yin Yang, which is a balance card. Archangel Gabriel, which is truth. Revelations is that tower energy as well. Indecision, which is a crossroads energy. Journey, blossoming abundance. Like I said, it's like you can see all of your dreams coming true around something that is important to you about your place in this world and your feeling about this world. But it's coinciding with some things that are like, oh no, is the world gonna just like peace out on me at this particular time? I do not believe so. I really, really don't. I really don't. But there is a definitive energy around a relationship and a set of circumstances. And that sounds so much more dramatic than it actually is. It's just that you write the last words in a chapter, and they're different than the words than you thought they were going to be. They just are. Like I said, it's like you realize, oh, that's what the cage was made out of. It was made out of my pain. And it's dissolving because now I'm healed. Relationships. Guilt. Balance. Abundance. Everybody's getting abundance. Every time, and you've got the two pentacles in the upright, honest to goodness, every time you feel discombobulated, every time you're like, oh my God, what else can go wrong? I beg of you, do a clearing meditation. They're all over YouTube. Inner Lotus healing music, Inner Lotus music, I beg your pardon. Jason Stevenson, Meditative Mind, search root chakra, search chakra balancing. They have ones that are for 30 minutes. Please do that. Even if you're listening to them in a car, it helps. You get out of balance and your fears and your pain overtakes you sometimes. If you're at all like me, like I've always chosen to manage I have general anxiety disorder, but I don't take meds for it. I work out. I have different like methods that I use to, I have breathing exercises, meditation, and like all of the things that I do to manage it. But I have to be on top of it, and I have to be aware I'm having an anxiety spike. And I will be very honest with you. I had a horrible one this morning until I took the dogs for their bath. And they're just so funny and ridiculous and like cute because they're, Puddles is a third the size of Oscar, and they're in the same bathtub at the dog wash place. And it's the cutest thing you've ever seen. And so that cutest thing was like, I can't be anxious any longer. And what was I anxious about? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Loss issues, probably that. Soulmate, helping others mentor, lasting love and happiness, balance. Whenever you feel off balance, please go and balance. Sound bowls, recordings, actual grounding, where you go out to a park and you walk around on the earth, go touch a tree, that's grounding. Being in contact with the actual, like anything that grows from the earth helps. And I know it's almost winter. If you cannot get out in a lot of places, I'm in Southern California, it barely affects it, it says here. But even if you're not, you can watch nature programs, and I swear it does pretty much the same thing. And you can have them on while you're reading a book. You don't have to sit there and watch something you think is boring. Just have the energy reaching you. Decision making. Not sure, I don't see that very often. Balance and decision making, meaning that your choices are going to have a great role in your energetic wellness in the month of November. You have been learning how to take care of you in a way that leans into your strengths and protects the areas in which you are vulnerable. And that is not the same thing as having a weakness. Remember, psychics and intuitives and healers and all of these very special people who are very sensitive, you have a big open heart space, and you will be a little bit big everything, big emotions, big power, big sad, big mad, big anxious. And you just need to learn your own management issues to take care of you so that you can feel as good as you can in any set of circumstances. And that's what you've been learning as things have been this, trudging year where very little seemed to develop. Fate, this is a destined partnership. Patience, everything will unfold in divine timing. Listen, divine timing, you say it and people like their eyes practically roll back in their head because they associate it with waiting, because usually they're hearing it when it's not divine timing yet. Hear it and instead say, okay, well, it must be the time for something else if you can. Because patience is power. Patience is real belief in your power, that everything is meant for me. Everything I've been trying to do is going to happen. It's going to come to me when the time is right. And if it's not here yet, there must be something else I'm being asked to work on. Self-care. Self-care, clear your energy field and focus on yourself before acting. Okay, OCD. Obsession. Someone in this connection is gripped by obsessive thoughts. I have OCD as well. A lot of people who have complex post-traumatic stress disorder do. Because usually very hideous things happen to them. I'm not laughing because it's funny, it's a trauma response. Please always remember that. They've had very traumatic things happen to them. And like my first memory is technically my father trying to kill my mother, and it was not pretty. And I will not describe it to you, but like it caused a form of trauma in me that I will always be managing. And it wasn't isolated. It was one of multiple incidences. And as a little kid, I never knew when the world was going to blow up around me and like terrible things were about to happen. I really don't want to say anything triggering. And in it caused OCD. Meaning I will try to go towards patterns and routines to make myself feel safe, or obsessively pursuing answers, or obsessively trying to solve a problem. And I have to be aware of it. I have to be aware that it's like, I'm going down that bad rabbit hole. And I have to have the self-care practices to distract myself and to be able to manage with self-care in a way that it no longer is my cross to bear. Instead, it's like, that's just a part of me that if I take really good care of it is also, that part of me is directly related to the most powerful parts of me. It genuinely is. There are no mistakes in you. Please remember that. There's just parts of you that you need to treat with tenderness and care and understanding. Please don't berate yourself for the things you struggle with. You didn't do them to yourself. Obsession, time apart, and forgiveness. Something about forgiveness has been in the cards here as well. You have been preparing, I believe, for, I don't want to say a confrontation, it's not a confrontation, but you've been preparing to close a chapter on your terms, like I said, close a chapter on your terms. That's been in cards for about 3 months. Remember that is completely normal in collectives where energy signatures repeat. And sometimes things take more than 1 month to manifest, but that is the stuff that's coming up for you. It's coming up before the end of 2022. For some people, it's going to be within the month of November. For some people, it's going to be elongated into that 8-week period. Let's check your angel answer card. Let go. You got a bunch about letting go. Letting go, writing the final words in a chapter. Twists and turns. I don't always read these paragraphs because they seldom have any validity, but I'm going to do it here. Carefully made plans could be thrown out the window as major changes and interruptions surround you. Like I said, it's like all your dreams are coming through, and then like the world is like, okay, hey, everything's happening. Oh no, the world's ending. The world's ending. Make sure you get lots of rest to cope with all the upheaval. There is upheaval, and you are being told, please take good care of yourself. The OCD, the obsession spiral that I have can have me like trying to find, like I will look at the news too much when I'm concerned about something. And instead I need to read the news story, get up and walk away from it and go do something that puts me into a better energy signature for my own well-being. And because I deserve to feel better. Like my worrying has never solved the situation. The answers come to me through my intuition. It's only ever been my perception that I have worried myself into revelations. I never truly have. Okay, so group everybody. That was group number 4. I will edit in timestamps after this broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me. That was the Spirit Guide Monthly for November. Look for the Spirit Guide Daily, Monday through Friday throughout November. I do know that the first set of 10 will have it like the focus will be farther away. I will be filming because there are fewer cards. I will be filming them close up for the next set for the next 2 weeks. Okay. Take care, be well, and have a beautiful Thanksgiving if you're in the US.